welcome everybody to the final of the CS2 tournament, sponsored by Trade It. Now, we have two teams already ready and waiting. Sorry about the delay, everybody, but an absolutely killer match is about to take place.
Indeed, it is a rematch from yesterday from the upper bracket finals. So interesting to see that happen again.
It is indeed. Now, these two teams have played each other twice before. Now,
yes.
Best of one. The neighbors took it very, very convincingly. 13-3, I do believe. Now, yesterday, semi-finals in the upper bracket. K10 took it 2-0 in the best of three. This is the best of three to end their rivalry here. Now, K10, they've been fighting for this for a while now. This is their second land in the final, back-to-back. Of course, on the other side, on the neighbors, a lot of veterans to the stage, a lot of trophies between them as well. So, what are your thoughts? I know you casted the last game.
I did. I don't know. I always give predictions and then I get slated for it on Twitter, so I'm just not going to bother this time, to be
No,
honest
give
with
predictions.
you.
Be funny.
I fancy K10, to be honest with you, but what will happen is we'll see what happens in the maps, right? Like the map picks and all that kind of stuff. And
the map veto, I think, will heavily swing this.
we should probably head over to our casters for today's events, at least anyway. We have Timo and Index. How are you doing, gents?
I'm doing great, thanks, Steve.
Yeah,
and I'm looking forward to this game. I think the great thing about this is the fact that we've got seed 1 and 2 fighting against each other here, and
Yet again,
and it's going to be a banger. Yeah, we've already seen these two go against each other twice now, with varying results both times. So I'm looking forward to it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We got a map veto ready to talk about for you guys, though.
Oh, fantastic. We're treating us.
That is exciting. And yeah, as you mentioned before, in the group stage, Neighbours did take that best of one, and that was on Inferno, and that was a swift 13-3 victory for them. But Inferno was the third decider in the best of three, so it's interesting that they chose not to pick it, and they chose to gamble on Mirage, allow Inferno to be that third, hoping that they could sort of sway that third map. But here we see the change. We see them picking Inferno here. Ancient, of course, being picked by K10, as well as, again, that was also a 13-3 victory for K10 in the best of three. So we should see two, if the results, are the same as the last time, we should see two very swift games to leave as an overpass decider, which is a map which we've not seen either of these teams play each other on yet.
Ooh,
Well,
and who are you favouring in that one? If you had to give your predictions, put your money where your mouth is, what are you saying?
It's a really difficult
Put your
one
money where your mouth is. You know?
It's a difficult one because looking back at EPIC39, where the Neighbours won in the grand final, they looked really solid on overpass. I love the 5-man Counter-Strike they played, especially towards that A site. But it could be a bit predictable, and you've got K10 who are a really experienced lineup. They should be able to anticipate this and read this a little bit better and adapt. I expect them to adapt a bit more effectively than 7am did back at EPIC39. So I think it's going to be a close one, but I do want to edge K10 just a little bit.
Yeah, and I think I'm on the same boat as well. I think K10 will have taken the result that they had in the group stage on Inferno, which is a map that they are familiar with. They played it in the current season of ESEA Advanced. They'll have taken that and they'll have seen the mistakes that they'll have made. I'm not expecting it to be as much of a blowout. I still perhaps edge the Neighbours. It's a quick turnaround to implement those improvements, but I'm expecting to see a closer scoreline, but I'm going to edge K10 as well.
I think that we leave everyone in their very capable hands, but can we make some noise for our finalists before we get this going? Make some noise! Right, over to you guys.
Lovely.
Oh, it's going to be an absolute banger, Tim. I can't wait. Both these teams are operating at a super high level. We've got, obviously, K10 in advance, but then there's an absolute wealth of experience in the Neighbours as well. And these guys have played together a lot. They play together outside the game. They're not obviously a formal team. They are a mixed team, but we've seen them plenty of times here at these Epic LAN events. They're familiar with each other. They know how to play off of each other.
And of course, you've got the core of that SRK team with Adam, Dobbo, and Bev, who have looked really promising in that lineup, with the unfortunate, obviously, disband recently. But they've got that wealth of experience. But I just want to mention another reason why I want to edge towards K10 taking this is because it was their choice to go to Overpass and not Mirage, which is, again, they won Mirage last time in the second map. It was a close game, which I believe went into double overtime. So because it's their choice, I think they're going to be a little bit more prepared for this game. Not only that, we know that Dobbo, you can see he's got sunglasses on. He was out late last night drinking. I don't think that, Neighbours, yes, they've had that warm-up game earlier today facing off Coalesce, which they managed to swiftly push them aside.
Yeah.
But again, I think K10, they're going to be much more well prepared. They were well rested. They went straight to bed, and I think they're going to be much more on edge.
Yeah, they did. They seemed focused. I was over there this morning, and they were discussing tactics. It was a couple hours before the game, so I was in deathmatch, as he usually is when you get head over to K10 and they're not playing. So those guys are going to be prepped and drilled. But to be fair, the Neighbours came out swinging this morning. They didn't take any prisoners, especially in that second map of Mirage. So I still think we're getting a close game here. I don't think the Neighbours are going to be particularly slow to start. I think it's going to be coming out the gate swinging from both teams.
And one thing I also want to mention is about that experience on a stage from both of these two sides. Obviously, the Neighbours, plenty of experience among different tournaments, playing on stage. I know most of these players have played in Epic Land Finals on the stage before.
Yes.
On the K10 side, you've only got 2 players, at least in an Epic Land context, who have played on the stage before. That's Shine, who won previously with Coalesce, and then you've got 360, who was in the last Grand Final with the previous K10 roster. Now, 360 was the highlight player of that event for K10, but in the final, he wasn't quite as impactful. Now, throughout this entire event, it's those 2 players who have sort of not been the shining stars. They've not been the ones where they've been taking over games, as you might expect. It's been the other players. It's been Sly, who had a massive game against the Neighbours in the upper bracket final, whose parents have been tweeting about it.
Yeah, absolutely love to see that. They've got their own Twitter accounts, and they're tweeting out all the results. And also got rezzed as well. Yeah. And he was absolutely plugging away. I think he
especially on Ancient.
Massive performance on Ancient, yeah.
More so responsible for that Ancient 13-3 victory from K10.
Just having a look, we've got all 5 players ready in the server, so all 10 rather.
Yeah, all 10. All 5 on either side.
5 on either side, there we are.
Getting the game underway soon.
These teams going to be fighting for what is a chunk of a sizable prize pool, thanks to Trade It, and also just the turnout as well. We've had a really nice turnout here at this event, and it looks like we're getting ready to kick things off with the pistol round. K10 going to be starting on that CT side here. Seeing the investments coming in. There's a scattering of utility around on the server at the moment.
We've got a technical pause already. We'd love to see it.
We do.
Hope we can get that resolved as soon as possible. Get this game underway.
Yeah, get the grand final underway. We've already had a little bit of a wait here. We've been
now, as we mentioned before, Neighbours they've already played the low consolidation final this morning to get to it, so they are arguably a bit more warmed up as the day goes by. But we're also starting on their map pick, which means K10 for the first game of the day, it's the map which you'd most likely expect a defeat on. So it's going to be difficult for them to bounce back if they do lose this. It does depend on how fast they can start this game. Yeah, it absolutely does, and it looks like some heavy weaponry on the server. We're going to be seeing K10 taking their positions for this pistol round. The Neighbours setting up for their T-side assault grouping. Information gathered by the jump spot over towards top mid. Neighbours not reacting too quickly off it, neither are K10. Still remaining in this relatively default setup. Yeah, the Neighbours are going to be advancing slowly here, looking to push and prod the CT defense and work out where these CTs are. Belter of a shot from Smooya to open things up. Single tap from the P250 onto Sly. And they've not reacted off it. They've not decided to collapse onto that bomb site where there's only 1 player lying in wait. Instead, they're resetting, allowing K10 to spread out a little bit more, let that element of doubt settle in. Yeah, thin that defense. And they're going to continue to operate as a pack as well, but giving absolutely no information to K10. A spot has been found now. Bev spotted in apartments. 360 exchanging a few shots, and he's going to fall back to a more defensive position here. Caught on long, though, by Smooya, swinging out with that P250, but Shining 360 coming with a couple of headshots on the USP, and so man advantage does fall to K10 here. The Neighbours still yet to plant. Yeah, they've got all the time to do so. K10 should be setting up their retake efforts. The final grenade does go out, and that's the flashbang. 360, lovely shot onto Adam 9130. It's all about making sure they trade out, but Smooya, lovely couple of frags. It's just Dobbo. He does fall to Shine. It's Smooya. He's got to get the 4K if he wants to take the first round here. Yeah, Shine just trying to weed him out of the pit position, lands the headshot, and there's plenty of time for the defuse as well. K10 start things off with a pistol round victory on the CT side. And they absolutely are up screaming. They've got that energy. I mentioned it's important. They need to get off to this game with a good start, good vibes, good energy to make sure they wake up and are full focus to try and take the fight to Neighbours. And you can see 360 on the edge, closest to Neighbours, screaming at them as loud as he could. Yeah, we saw him drop a little rent-free tweet earlier on in the tournament. He's looking to try and get into the heads of these Neighbours players as much as he can. Going for the second round buy here. Now, the bomb plan for the Neighbours is going to afford them a bit of extra cash here to go for what is quite a decent purchase, all things considered. On the other side of things, though, K10, they have managed to afford plenty of utility, which is very missed Molotov on Inferno. Missed Molotov there from Adam. It does not deter K10 from pushing down towards Banana, getting that information. There's still a minute 40 on the clock. They have plenty of time to burn out what grenades they can.
K10 operating with a good amount of info here towards B. Resmoke at the bottom of Banana. Just continuing the amount of time that they're able to hold on to it, making it difficult for the neighbours to retake that position.
But it's both MP9s on towards Banana. These are weapons which, yes, they excel in close range, which is perfect for exactly where Rest is with zero utility. But the player at the top, which is Sly, he's going to struggle to swing, to find that contact and enable that setup.
Neighbours setting themselves up here, creeping into map control. Bit of utility being used. Long smoke. Denying vision, but again, they're playing the slow game here, Tim.
Yeah. Waiting out the time. Again, as time ticks by, these CTs are going to have to burn more and more utility. It means less utility for retakes, which is notoriously hard on Inferno. Also, it means they're able to gather information, make more informed decisions. And you can see the contact starts to play in. The MP9 is good for one, it's good for two, and the contact swing comes on. In fact, it is Sly who doubles up, but the trades are good. Again, we mentioned those MP9s, they struggle at that range. That elongated spray from Sly doesn't connect, and if anything, it does mean that the B site is open for the taking for the neighbours. Not going to react on it just yet. Again, they do have a little bit of time on the clock. Hope that K10 make some mistakes.
Yeah, Sly swinging in there at the top of Banana to try and assist his teammate. They'd already got that man advantage. If anything, he could have hung his teammate out to dry. Held on to that B side. That said, it is a 3-on-3 here. Smoke on CT is denying vision, and a Molotov. Sly's going to take contact. Does a lot of damage, but can't confirm a kill. It's Bev with the MAC-10.
Famas there, struggling. And M4, I bet money on it that Zai gets that every day.
Low HP on a couple of these neighbours players. K10 still within the realms of possibility for them to pull this one off. They're going to need to try and unpick some of these crossfires. 360 swinging in, caught by Bev on the MAC-10. Smooya swings out with a headshot, and the neighbours steal away.
And again, it's because the neighbours, they played so slowly there. They identified that on the first buy round, the CTs are going to have less utility, and if they want more utility, they're going to have to sacrifice kits. And you can see they waited the time, ensured that there was less utility for that retake setup, which again is notoriously hard on Inferno. And there you go, they didn't have the smokes to isolate those fights. They only had flashes left and no kit, no time. The pressure was on, and K10 crumbled. Neighbours get their first round on the board. They answer back. And
the problem is with that CT side economy is that K10 are not going to have nearly as strong of a force back here. This third round, a Deagle on 360, a couple of upgraded pistols scattered around. Adam already finding first blood on Sly at the top of Banana, and he's got no support there. There's no chance of a trade.
Yeah. Those four neighbours playing a good pack game again. I mentioned it about how they play on Overpass. They're very much the same, and despite it being such a large map, they love to play that sort of 4-1 style of CS, making sure it's that pack of four taking contact, maximising tradability. They do the exact same here in K10, first player isolated of Sly. Now again, against pistols, there's no utility for K10 to actually deny this execute, so neighbours have the freedom to go for a full execute, and there you go, they mow them down. There's nothing that those pistol players could have done. That was probably their best option there, was pushing, trying to catch them with the grenades out. They sit there and wait, they're going to get executed, and then they've got no counter utility, and they just fall. It's why I love it on Inferno. Just go for that solid B exec. You see Endpoint doing it all the time on Mirage, for example, on that A site. Against pistols, just do a full site execute. CT's got no utility to stop you. Even if they stack, you've got good exec, you've got good flashes, not a problem.
Yeah, and you can let your own utility do the work as well here. Now, after that force buy from K10, they are going to be just on the USPs in this round, and going for a committed play together here as they barrel their way down middle with these USPs. 1-for-1 trade so far, but this is where the kills start to fly in for the neighbours. 2 kills for K10 on the pistols, not bad all things considered.
Yeah, I like the idea. Again, you love to see when you've got pistols, give yourself a win condition, put all your eggs in one basket, make a gamble, because if you don't gamble, you're not going to win head to head. The issue is Bev and Adam, they had the SMGs. They love those situations with those SMGs because they absolutely mowed through unarmoured opponents. Also farm some cash in the process. That's going to put the neighbours up to a third round. We're coming into what is the second buy round. It's the real proper buy round with the full bells and whistles, all the grenades, all the rifles. We do have one kit in play on the side.
This is aggressive from K10. Again, securing that banana control. Now, the neighbours have dropped a smoke just slightly ahead, covering logs off, which does deny a little bit of vision, gives that creeping doubt in the back of your mind that somebody could sneak through to the opposite side, but they are going to just continue to hold in their default, again playing it slow. It's a characteristic of Inferno as a map. Just going to take a little bit of apartments control here.
Yeah, just taking his time, doesn't want to overextend. The worst thing you want to do is go down and not be tradable.
Absolutely.
Especially with the 5v4 conversion possibilities. But again, he has got that Mach 10, so he is given a little bit more freedom to get information, to get scout, use that high movement speed in these close quarters positions.
And he's got no utility as well. He's used it already, so he's purely acting as a search party.
But I like this, that how patient the neighbours are playing there. They're letting this clock rot down, getting information, letting the grenades fall out of the hands of K10 and not forcing the issue.
Only one kit present on K10 as well, and the lack of utility that the neighbours have been bleeding out over the course of this with only 30 seconds left on the clock is going to make things really difficult if they need to attempt a retake. So ideally they want to do a big amount of damage as the neighbours try and execute onto one of these bomb sites here, and this is where the execution comes in. Utility raining in on the B bomb site.
Oh, this is a ruse, but this is a last-second ruse. Bev does fall in towards middle, and the rotate is coming out for the neighbours. There's 10 seconds left for them to get onto the site and get the bomb down. The question is, can K10 establish a crossfire, establish a setup to hold down this site in time? And no,
they've done it already. Called the rotation far too late. The neighbours completely ran out of time, and then the fact that you have K10 figuring out that play with Bev going down in middle, they just consolidate the defense on the bomb site. Even if they did get up with 5 seconds left, one player would have to commit to the bomb site while his teammates were fighting.
It's a difficult call because of how slow they are playing, which again, I'm going to praise. But the one downside is, again, letting that clock go all the way down. You can have a tendency to overthink in those pressure moments, go for those rotations. That's how it can get chaotic. I have to say, they didn't realise that K10 had 0 utility. If they just went for a full execute on that B bomb site, even if there was 3 K10 players there, all you got to do is trade out. You've not got any counter utility to stop you. By the way, heading into the 6th round. And again, another banana control. This time K10 bolstered with some utility from a 3rd player. Opening frag, Adam falls.
Well, Extinct going for the spam through the smoke. Passing like ships in the night. Sly has managed to escape though. K10 keep that man advantage at least for now. Extinct looking to flatten the playing field. Entering the top of Banana, making a lot of noise. Spots Rez behind the sandbags, but he's doubled up. Looks for a 3rd, can't get it. Smooya is there with the trade, but 2-man advantage. K10 outnumbering the neighbours 2-1.
And all Sly has to do here is has to block. He doesn't need to hold. Oh! Beautiful little set piece there from the neighbours, blowing open that smoke, finding a lovely little headshot from Smooya. Does give them the possibility of this site. If they can get a plant that will help their funds, yes, they've got plenty in the bank, but it's about maintaining that economy. Just waiting time out now. Again, letting K10 be the ones to make the next move, hoping that they're the ones to make the mistake and that they give up their man advantage, but K10 not falling for it.
Yeah, and the utility's limited for K10 as well. They're not burning any of it. They're holding in this setup here, as are the neighbours. Both teams waiting for the other to be the ones to make the first move. It's a game of chicken.
Yeah. K10 are relatively blind here, but they are adamant that it is likely to be this B site here. Only just now do neighbours start to be proactive. There's 15 seconds left. Bev posting up deep on this angle. Zai in, and Bev finds the frag, but it's untraded.
It is untraded until now as Tree60 swings in, takes down Smooya. Shine with the final kill on Bev. That's K10 tying things back up after neighbours string a couple of rounds together. K10 flatten it.
And again, as mentioned before, in the group stage when these two teams played on Inferno, it was 13-3 to neighbours. So K10 have already hit the same amount of rounds that they got previously. So this is definitely looking good for them, all things considered.
Gonna be seeing the rebuys coming in here, and the first time the big green is on the server. And in fact, it's going to be shared.
Yeah.
Both teams bringing out the AWP here in round 7. We'll see exactly where those head to try and find opening picks.
Powerful weapon and also useful for finding open frags. And again, 5v4 conversion is so much easier than a 4 versus 5 or even a 5 versus 5. By like an astronomical level.
Yep.
A little bit of aggression in towards Apps here. Zai looking to see if he can isolate this fright onto Bev, who was lurking, but he holds his own. A nice little off angle. Again, it is difficult to aggress on the CS2 version of Inferno towards Apps. As the opening frag going the way of the neighbours.
Molotov licks at the feet of Tree60, gives away the sound cue. Bev swings, but is punished for it. It's a 1-for-1 trade, and now we're into a 4-on-4.
Yeah, the man advantage given away. Fortunately, it still favours the team in the 4 versus 4, but trades back and forth towards Banana. K10 hold their own 2-for-1.
Yeah, now it's the neighbours on the back foot. Rezd does manage to land a dink, but Dobbo finds the kill. Shine attempting. Blind shot through the smoke to prevent that bomb plant is unsuccessful. Repositions. There's a good amount of utility in play for K10 as well. They're going to need to set this retake up. Both players with defuse kits as well. The issue being the positioning at the moment. Not too favourable. The neighbours opting to stick together and play their setups here. Again, players of this experience going for these trade guarantees. Smooya puts Shine in the dirt, and that leaves Tree60 to reconsider his options, Tim.
Again, with a full load of utility on his belt, the time ticks so far down. A beautiful post-plant situation there from the neighbours. Dobbo, sorry, just tucked in towards the new box, just hiding on low HP, letting Smooya take contact, making sure that they buy enough time for that clock to tick down. Less time for the CTs to defuse. And again, the CTs were split up. Shine was towards Runes. Tree60 took so long, shifting his way up Banana. Again, because he's not tradable, he can't risk just running up and giving away a free 1-for-1 fight. Well recovered round from the neighbours.
AWP still out on Smooya. There's a couple of compromises we're seeing for K10 here. See what they can do to overcome them, as Shine not looking too hot on the weaponry department, thanks to that AWP investment in the previous round. Not going for a heavier contest of Banana either, K10 at the moment. They're instead opting to bolster elsewhere.
There are a fair few helmets missing too on these K10 players, which means this Mac 10 of Bev could be extra deadly on the low position if he can land the crisp shots.
Yeah, and we've seen teams be punished for the lack of head armor against SMGs in buy rounds time and time again throughout the course of this tournament.
K10 just leaning over towards this A site, the neighbours themselves. Only just, again, this 4-1 style of CS, looking to take ground as a pack. All that Rezd has to do here is just block, just buy time.
There's a gap there.
With extra smokes dropped to him, he's been successful in doing so, but neighbours, they pull the trigger, they decide to push through this smoke, take the fight. In the meantime, Tree60, a proactive push actually down Bomber Banana. Bev caught off guard, and Rezd finds one, playing retake. That sets up K10 with a 2-man advantage, and this fast flank finally activates. Smooya caught off guard by nothing but a P250.
And Shine going wide as well. It's another screamer of a headshot on that P250. Extinct is alone, and it's a flawless round at K10. Not a single player lost.
Yeah, a beautiful round. I love how proactive that is. It's one thing I want to say, when a lot of teams gamble, they make these stacks, whether they're in a man advantage or in an even 5-on-5, they often rely on that stack way too heavily, whether it is just saying, oh, we've got too many players and not having a setup, or just being a little bit too blind to the information that they have. So with that stack, they decided to use that man advantage they had within the A site at least, to be proactive, push down Banana. They got so much information, and now neighbours, after some back and forth rounds, it's their economy starting to look a little bit disastrous. They've gone for this force by Tech 9's Mac 10s and armor. They're charging through the Banana, where they're going to meet the resistance of Sly, the Norwegian talent, the newest addition to this K10 roster. Mo's down 3, softened up players by these HEs.
Yeah, and he's got assistance with him as well. The neighbours trying to go for an explosive round, running up Banana, and Sly, he's having absolutely none of it. 5 kills, the ace for him.
I bet his mum and dad are going to be proud about that one.
Shout out, Sly's mum and dad.
Either way, K10 have taken the lead. This is starting to look a little bit more impressive, you know?
It is. I mean, already, it's a much closer scoreline than we saw previously early on in the group stage on Inferno. And I mentioned that K10 are going to be taking the lessons learned from that and implementing them here.
Now, either that's a good sign for us, because it means we're in for a banger of a series, or it's a bad time for the neighbours.
That's true.
Both, maybe.
The neighbours in this round, not too good in the economy. I've got Extinct operating with that hero rifle, but it's a full buy for K10 here. The neighbours are going to have to try and set this rifle up for success.
Yeah, the hero rifle can be so deadly though. All you need is one frag to pick up another rifle, and that round can completely snowball. Just maximise that trade potential, use a pistol to bait in, get that rifle on those trades. In fact, he's going to be taking point, looking for the openings himself. He takes a lot of damage pushing through the Molotov. Takes a little bit more. He tries to find an aim draw on towards Tree60, but doesn't quite find any success.
Down low on HP, trades that rifle over to Smooya. In the meantime, look at this from K10. Gotten a lot of map control here, and that's a lot of information that they can use to set themselves up to defend against this neighbour's attack, which is imminent. Opening kill from Shine. Zai picks up frag as well, but he's quickly traded by Smooya on that hero AK. Bev trying to lurk out of the apartments. A missed shot out of Sly. Oh, what a shot. It's a cleanup from K10. The neighbors try wrapping round long, but the apartments lurk. Bears no fruit.
Again, it's a nice proactive setup. They're not too stagnant and not too blind. They get the information that the push is happening towards long, and neighbors just not quite fast enough, unable to trade with these weaker weapons. And yeah, we pretty much just glocked on most of their players. They do fall quite swiftly, but that does give K10 a 6th round. It means at minimum they're going to tie at the half, but they're looking to try and take it. They want a lead at the half. There are 2 rounds left. Neighbours emptying their bank accounts here to go for a buy round. We still have a Mac 10 on Extinct, so there is that compromise thanks to that hero AK, but Shine's getting proactive here. Gets some information, spots a shoulder in towards second mid. But look at this, I love this setup from K10.
Yeah, this is really nice. Shine taking that attention early on in the round. Neighbours might not be expecting this one, and oh, a team kill. 360 done his job. Extinct taken down by Zai, who doubles up. Crisp headshots in the apartments, and now it's a 2-man advantage for K10. Smooya and Adam 9130 left to try and clutch up here.
Yeah, a 2-man disadvantage. All K10 need to do is make sure they don't go down for free, maximise trade potential. There's a possibility of Adam isolating a fight here, but in the meantime, Smooya does fall to Shine's AWP, holding ever vigilant. Peek from Sly takes down Adam and K10. They have secured that lead at half. They've got the Magic 7.
Yeah, it's been looking really good from K10.
Yeah.
Massive improvement from earlier on in the group stage. Inferno is a map that they're familiar with. We expected a closer scoreline even in the group stage coming out of this team, because they're one of the rare teams at this event while we were doing our pre-event prep that actually are willing to play Inferno. It's had a massive decline in popularity since the introduction of CS2, but K10 are one of the ones that will play it.
Yeah, we did the maths, and literally no one else, none of the other top teams in this event play Inferno. It's literally only K10 and the neighbours.
Tactical timeout out of the aforementioned neighbours here. Their first of the game so far. It looks like.
Yeah, it's final round at the half, and the fun's not looking so good.
Yeah, SMGs are plenty. Good amount of utility though. That's going to allow them options. They're not going to be forced into an early game.
It could signify a bit of a pace change, perhaps. Maybe they want to go fast with these SMGs, do that run and gun potential. But again, K10, they've got all the grenades that they need themselves. And we saw last time neighbours decided to go fast. They mowed down through Molotovs, through HEs. K10 mixing up, going 3 towards Banana. Looking to try and maintain that control, which they've done so successfully throughout most of this game. Sly's going to double up.
He's done so much damage as well.
It's a 2 for 2. Yes, a lot of damage, but a 2 for 2. The neighbours aren't going to be too displeased about that one. Not only that, they've pulled a big rotation from K10. There's now less players on the server, on the map, to defend the same amount of ground.
360 going for a peek in middle, spotted by Bev. It is a risk.
He is solo, meaning if he goes down, that's that A side completely open.
But then I love this reposition as well. The neighbours
I like it. It's confidence, and you've got to have that confidence. You've got to have that level of gumption, especially on a stage. And we've seen it: 360 trash talking, shouting, screaming, trying to get into the neighbours' heads. He's full of confidence, and he's taking the fight straight to them, and it works. It gives K10 that man advantage, and we can see Zai's not stopping either. He's pushed down Banana again. He's also on his own after his teammate is rotated down towards, well, back towards A. Takes down Smooya in the back. It just leaves Extinct left in a 1 versus 3. He's now creeping up. He does have the bomb on his back, but K10, they're starting to suss it out. They've cleared out most of the map at this point.
He has got some utility to use, but he wants to get as far as he can before giving away noise. The sound cue should have been heard there. Jumping around, spots 360 up on short. Goes for the Molotov. 360 just swings out, and he's energized. He's loving it. 8-4 at the half to K10.
I was going to say, that is a full-on confidence play there. You've got a 1 versus 3. You could let Extinct get the bomb down. It doesn't matter because it's the final round of the half whether he gets the bomb down or not, as long as you secure the round win. But 360 says, nope, I'm just going to close him out now.
Yeah, one of those. And I think a lot of calculated risks being taken as well to take these positioning and being so stifling. K10 aware that the neighbours are playing this brand of Counter-Strike where they're all grouped up, and so as soon as they get that information that there's a cluster of players on a particular end of the map, they're looking to take back the other parts.
Either way, we swap over onto the T side where K10 on this pistol round. Lots of Kevlar, smoke and a flash, and they're looking, all 5 players, to brawl up towards Banana where neighbours have got a 3-man setup.
that they have. Extinct here in CT spawn, spots the onslaught from K10. Can they stop it though? Jumping across, Shine, a couple of missed shots out of Extinct. Adam does pick up one. 360 and Zai with kills of their own. It's an absolute flurry of flags on the B bomb site. Ultimately though, the neighbors come out of it with a one-man disadvantage, and K10 just got the bomb down.
Yeah, neighbors need to try and isolate a duel here. Body up, maximize trade potential, try and get that into the thing. But Slide, the confidence on these K10 players, they don't care. They've got this man advantage. They're not playing cookie cutter Counter-Strike. They're playing brawly in-your-face Counter-Strike, and it's working. They even then all get on the same page, go for the triple swing, and take down Bev, granting K10 that 9th round.
Yeah, and that's absolutely massive for K10. We mention it every time we talk about the pistol rounds, especially with the short halves that we've got now. The pistol round, such a massive springboard economically for a team to set themselves up for a good start to a half. It's important to get this second round conversion though, and with the T-side economy being much stronger than the CT one, they've got a good chance. Yeah,
K10 have got to be absolutely brimming with confidence here. Again, especially considering that group stage result on Inferno between these two teams.
Neighbors going for that force buy here. Got a few SMGs out. The compromise there is a lack of head armor, which could prove disastrous should these MAC-10s get into the action. Dobbo spotted on short, forced back, contact taken at the top of middle, but K10 not committing.
Yeah, interestingly, playing a little bit more proactive, trying to push, prod and poke towards this A site, as opposed to how the neighbours were playing. Now starting to split up to take map control, but the thing is, neighbours are quite passive here. They're quite blind. They don't have middle, they don't have top banana. Means that whatever setup they decide to remain in isn't going to be an informed one.
No, it isn't. Extinct shoulder peeking here. He's going to burn a smoke on banana. That gives K10 the go-ahead to set themselves up at top banana, and 360 lurking through the apartments has picked off Bev. Now it's a large rotation out of the neighbours here, but K10 seem to be aware of it. Shine's gone down.
Yeah,
Adam on that MP9.
But they've pulled this rotation. This A site is open for business. K10 in a 4 versus 4 to get this plant down. They've got plenty of time to establish a post plant too, as the rest of the neighbours players, all 4 of them barreling together, one pack working together to try and set up this retake. Now, they could save if they wanted to. Next round, they're going to be in on an eco. They are 9-4 down. If you eco next, regardless of this outcome of this round, if you lose it, you're going to be 10-4 down. If you eco the next, you're going to be 11-4 down. I would say save. Should be a save for the neighbours, but it looks like they're going to be going for it. Creeping in towards apps, at least perhaps trying to go for some damage maybe, because I don't think the round win is on the cards here. No, utility so limited as well, and it does look to be a damage play. No defuse kit either. And the contact being taken in apartments. The neighbours are going to back away, save those SMGs. And yeah, it's important. I expected that when they went and stacked that B-bomb site that they'd be going for a gamble stack, and if K10 went to the other side, they just immediately save. Then they can have another stab at it in the next round, rather than being down on USPs. Yeah, but as mentioned, they do have those upgraded SMGs, that body armor that they invested in the previous round, still to use here on the eco. It does mean that K10 have to be a little bit more wary. They're not going to be against full USPs. It's not a full eco. Double digits for K10. They've got 4 AKs. Aware that the neighbours have saved weapons and armor, guaranteeing range advantage here with these guns. Extinct going for a jump spot. Molotov prevent him from sticking around. At very little cost. Doesn't get tagged too much by the Molotov, but it's another stack for the neighbours. Going for a similar round as to how they ended the previous. But I like this from K10. Grouping up again in a 3-man setup, making sure they maximise tradability, clearing out the apartments with only 1 player. It's a set piece, but it is blind. It is blind. Extinct's going to have the world on his shoulders here on the B side. 360 jumping out. Caught the trade is there though. Zai swings in. Guarantees that 1-for-1. Rez with a lovely headshot onto Adam on long, and K10 now dug their teeth into the A bomb site. Bomb will be planted, and the neighbours with a man disadvantage are only just clearing out banana. To save yet again. Sly will be caught by Bev on the 5-7, and that's an AK that can be picked up and saved. Again, no defuse kit. Probably wouldn't be a defuse kit considering this was essentially an eco round with some saved weapons. But yeah, saving what they can. They still have Kevlar on their backs. They've got an AK in the hands of Bev. That's going to be worth something. It means they don't have to invest quite so much in the next round. Ooh. But K10, they're hunting. They've got the extra funds. They've still got 2 players alive. They have invested that third. I mean, this, despite being a win for K10, is no longer profitable for them with only 2 players surviving. Terrorists win. Has come at a cost. Smooya. Oh! Spots out Zai, lands the dink, but the round ends. But 11-4. Again, this was a 13-3 on Inferno to the Neighbours last time they faced on Friday.
It's like they swapped the nameplates.
Yeah.
Bit tense here during the little bit of hunting that K10 were doing, but they're now just 2 rounds away, Tim, from stealing the first map away here in this grand final. Smooya has got the AWP out. The Neighbours fully invested into this round, but Sly, again, he's just continuing to rip and roar through the Neighbours. He is traded this time by Extinct into a 4-on-4, but map control's been taken.
Yeah, they've got map control, they've got a 4v4, a 1-for-1. Again, I always say a 1-for-1 goes in the favour of the T's, a 4 versus 4 CT, same amount of ground to defend with less players. K10 now grouping up again. Only way you lose a round with a man advantage, even though if it isn't a 1-man, it's a 0-man, but it's still an advantage. Only way you lose is if you don't trade. So they can group up, play together. Double smoke towards long, going for this A-site hit, but there are 3 Neighbours players lying in wait for this, and they've dumped a lot of utility to disrupt this push, and it's worked perfectly. Bev holding an off angle, Mo's down 2, Mo's down 3. That just leaves Rez left in the 1 versus 4.
Extinct creeping on in, does get taken down. Bev over the top of the truck, not spotted by Rez. Still finds the kill, looks for more, but Dobbo is there. He does some damage.
Yeah, that's a lot of economic damage. Despite the heroics from Bev, he gets that triple kill. He does unbelievably just shut them down towards short there. Gets them their first round of the half, but it's costly. Rez managing to get those 2 kills. IGL of K10. Keeping the funds low for Neighbours. It means they can have less to work with in this following round despite a win. As mentioned before, 3 players, that's profitable. Less than 3 players, the rounds come at a cost regardless of a winner or loss.
There is a cost for K10, and Sly! He doesn't care about the lack of weapons, makes Desert Eagle work at the top and middle, pushes his way up, and the flashbang's good, but Bev, blind spray, still manages to confirm the trade. Rez has found a 1 dig as well onto Extinct, and so K10 operating with a man advantage. 360 found a kill, Dobbo does spray down 2, but still, we're into a 2-on-2. There's a player on the A-bomb site, player on banana. This is split up.
He may be hanging, he may have sunglasses on, struggling, maybe a bit dehydrated, but he holds his own, finds 2 frags, keeps it down to a 2-on-2, but yeah, as you mentioned, this was pistols for K10.
Couple of absolute screamers being hit early on.
M4 has been retrieved by 360. Rez can find one. This could be a really dangerous round for the Neighbours. You don't want to lose it like this.
No, absolutely not. Bomb is going to be recovered. Minute left on the clock. Plenty of time to play with.
And again, the issue with being in a 2 versus 2 as the CTs, K10 can wait that time. They can let that time rot down. And Neighbours, they have an option. They can either split up, play 1-on-1, or they can group up and be a bit more proactive. They're going to choose the former. Does mean that K10, all they have to do is group up and trade out.
Yeah, I like this from Adam, though, playing far back in CT spawn. Picks up the kill onto Rez for free, and 360's not quite there to trade. Adam can now reset his aim, and he does come out on top. But again, a high amount of damage done by K10, and this time it was with very little.
Yeah, the spacing meant they were so far apart, it meant that 360 wasn't able to get a trade. Wasn't able to find the fight onto Adamos. He was shooting Rez. I can see the idea, though. The idea was let Rez on low HP get the information so 360 could choose the fight, choose the trade on his own terms, but in reality he just gave Adam 2 separate 1 versus 1 fights. To round number 18, we do have a full buy on both teams. Still compromise in the hands of Bev, missing utility on Dobbo.
HE stack chips away at Adam. The Molotovs force him into top banana, but K10 unable to capitalize on that isolation.
Yeah, this is another contrast between these 2 teams. Neighbours were, K10 was successfully taking banana almost every round on their CT side. Neighbours, on the other hand, they're not contesting so heavily for deep banana. It does mean that they're not going into those engagements early, not going down early, but it does mean they are acting blind. They don't have that map control to work with.
K10. Yeah, playing it slow here, and they've got quite a lot of map control towards B. The issue is that blind for information on the A side of the map here.
I like this though, again, I mentioned it, when you lean, when you have that gamble stack, when you have 4 players over towards A, it's good to be proactive, use those numbers to your advantage. And they are being proactive, but Tree 60 and Shine lying in wait, find the frags, they give that man advantage to K10. It now goes down to a 3 versus 2, and these Neighbours players, they're split up.
K10 have the information now that there's at least one player on A. These 2 defenders are split. Yet even still, they haven't made a fast reaction because, as you said, they themselves were split apart. The rotation is going to come in.
Yeah, all this.
Has been heard. Bev making a lot of noise.
Bev anticipates the rotation, turns around, drops that Molotov. That's a lot of information, equalises things into 2-on-2.
15 seconds left on the clock as well. K10 scrambling, as are the Neighbours, to get into defensive positions here. Bev spotted behind the box, but overwhelmed by Zai. Clean headshot. Bomb can be planted, and Rezd advances to long, holds the angle, and rips Extinct's head off. That's map point for K10.
On their opponent's map pick, on Inferno. The map which should have been Neighbours' safety pick. It should have been their go-to.
Yeah, and instead, anything
whiffed spray there from Bev. So unfortunate for him. Do have a technical pause. I believe Dobbo's PC was having some freezing during that round. Having some issues. So hopefully we'll get that resolved as soon as possible.
K10 looking so much better. It seems like they have been building and building and building in this tournament.
I think, again, you've got to bear in mind that the difference that the advantage that K10 have coming in from the upper bracket, they didn't have to play so late last night. They didn't have to play so early today either.
Yeah.
And it meant that they've spent this time preparing. We anticipated this Inferno pick for Neighbours. They probably did too. So they could have spent all this time preparing, going over the demo of the 13-3 loss that they had, making sure that they're prepared for this game. On the other side of things, Neighbours, they had to prepare for Coalesce if they were going to prepare at all, and I doubt they did, I'll be honest. I think they rested on their laurels and were complacent, knowing that they are on paper the better team. And I wouldn't be surprised. And of course, we all know Dobbo was out late last night playing beer pong, so they weren't quite so prepared. K10 have been getting ready, and consequently, it's showing. The results are showing. K10, they look far more well put together here on Inferno than the Neighbours do. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, I've been really impressed with the way that K10 have been playing, and the fact that there's now a bit of downtime, right, as K10 are on the precipice. I suppose at least it's a bit of a momentum shift. You can see the reminder of the maps for this best-of-3 series on your screen. Inferno, the current map. Then we've got Ancient as our second now.
Yeah.
The reminder for this as well is that K10 played the Neighbours already earlier on in the tournament, and they demolished them on Ancient.
13-3. That was also 13-3. That one was a massive performance from the IGL of Rezd. I believe he went 21-9 or something, so that's a huge performance. The question mark is, if he doesn't have that exact same performance, are the other players going to step up? Was that performance simply down to him carrying, or was it down to him being set up in the right positions? Was the system working? Because if it was a case of the system, that system's not going to change. The other player's going to get the frags, they're going to get the trade frags. Yeah. So it doesn't matter.
And let's be honest as well, from what we've seen from Sly, I mean, he's at top of the scoreboard in the server at the moment.
It's been a huge pickup for K10. With Docs leaving, I think we've spoken to a lot of people who knew Docs. They say he was a massive impact, especially for the K10 in terms of being an IGL, setting up the systems, and a very calming presence on the server. But he's now no longer the RGL. He's left. Rezd has stepped up to the plate as the RGL. They've brought in Sly, this Norwegian talent, and he's been worth it. He's had some massive impact, especially as the tournament's gone along.
Now, technical timeout has been resolved, but we've gone immediately into a tactical from K10. They're using their first of the game so far. And look, they're on the precipice of stealing this map away, so they're going to want to have a chat and discuss exactly how they're going to do so and ensure that they don't let the Neighbours build a few rounds into this one.
Yeah, one round is all it takes. Neighbours are going to have to get a clean 6 in a row if they don't want to drop their map pick. Single round loss, and it'll be over. And it's not a good way to start it either if you're looking at the funds.
No, it absolutely isn't. But look, more has been done with less so far this tournament. We'll see if we can see a repeat. Neighbours have gone and called a tactical timeout to counter K10's tactical timeout.
Yeah, you can hear them cheering on the stage.
There's a bit of laughing going on.
Yeah, there's a bit of laughter.
Bit tomfoolery.
You can take a tactical timeout, so can we.
Yeah.
Sit on that one. And you can imagine though, in the K10 camp, you sat there with your tactical timeout. Yeah, let's discuss this round. The tactical timeout pauses. The freeze time starts ticking down. It's about to end, and you're about to go. Right, let's go ready. I'm making sure I'm in the zone. I'm ready to follow through on what we've discussed. And suddenly, like,
okay, guys, so what are we doing again?
Nope, you're gonna have to wait another 30 seconds. A little bit of a stall. He's sat on the edge of the seat, ready to get this game over, ready to get one more round and get that victory. And Neighbours have just denied them that victory for at least another 30 seconds.
I was getting ready to reintroduce the game.
Make that a minute.
It's going to be a minute. The Neighbours have called another timeout. I had a feeling that was going to happen, I'll be honest.
Playing the mind games. You can tell, even though they are 12-6 down on their own map pick, the Neighbours are having a good time. Trying to make the best of a bad situation.
Yeah, but, I mean, here's the thing, look.
And what's also most importantly, one thing I want to mention is Adam, who's currently the IGL for this Neighbours team. He's won the last 2 Epic Lands in a row. He won the last Epic Land standing in for Raptors, again, as the IGL, standing in for Zodi. And he had a really good performance. He slotted into that team almost perfectly, role for role as well. And Neighbours themselves, with Adam, won EPIC39. So he's going for the 3-peat here. But K10, they're standing in the way.
They are standing in the way, and at the moment, it's a formidable height that Adam is going to have to reach to try and overcome the brick wall. Is K10 here. We are back into the action. The Neighbours have run out of timeouts. They're dropping a Molotov down middle. This is going to be a bit assertive from the Neighbours here. K10 looking to react, but it's a flurry of frags. 2 of them coming in for the Neighbours on these MP9s. Pure aggression, but Shine responds with a couple of frags of his own. He's got the 3rd on the Galil as well. Smooya equalised the numbers, but that's where 360 pops his head up from the underpass, rips his head off. Adam 9130 in a 1 versus 2 situation. 360 is low on HP, but the issue is K10 playing as a pack. They're playing to be tradable.
2 versus 1, man advantage. Only way you lose is if you do not trade. My golden rule, Timo's golden rule.
And because it's so early as well, K10, they have utility to be able to clear out some of these angles. Again, just operating tradable. And 360 swings in. He was the one that was low on HP, but he closes the map out 13-6. K10 stealing their opponent's pick.
And I have to say, just to preface on that last round, I did like the idea that the Neighbours brought out. They used those 2 tactical timeouts. They let the momentum sort of simmer down for K10, and they decided to rush them down with those SMGs, try and catch them off guard, try and catch them a little bit lackadaisical, but it doesn't pay off. The trades come out, Shine with a massive triple kill, and it does close it out 13-6. That's the Neighbours map pick, which K10 have just taken. Yeah,
I mean, that's absolutely huge performance coming out of K10. They're going to be feeling happy with that as well.
Definitely.
They get to go into their own map pick with that backstop that they've already stolen away, the Neighbours map pick. Worst comes to worst, they've got a 3rd map. They can have another stab at it, but if they continue with this form that they've showed now, I don't think we'll need it.
And we mentioned it beforehand in the pre-game. The 2 players who have been a little bit more quieter towards the end of this tournament are the 2 more experienced players on the stage, 360 and Shine. But they've been stepping it up, especially on Inferno, towards the top of the scoreboard, just behind Sly.
Yeah, massive performance from them as well. Yeah, we've got to highlight Sly, one of the newer additions to K10's, had an absolutely monumental game, both with high impact and just being absolutely rock solid, holding down top banana on the B site while he was on CT. I mean, the Neighbours, they'd maybe pick up a kill on the other player, and then Sly would just turn into a brick wall. Absolutely lovely stuff. Coming out, we see some of the highlights here. It has been, despite the sort of one-sided scoreline for K10, we have seen many intense rounds, many rounds that have been close. Ultimately, K10 edging it out, and it's that experience as well. Just constantly playing together, practicing together. They've got that.
Either way,
set of protocols.
That doesn't mean Ancient is up next, which is K10's map pick. They looked formidable on it. They looked dominant. Neighbours are going to have to dig deep if they want to make a comeback, make the reverse sweep to get that 2nd title for this lineup and the 3rd in a row for Adam.
Yeah, and it's the fact that it's that opposing map pick as well.
was one where definitely helping.
Hello, Overclockers, and welcome. Oh, screw this. Where's EPIC when you need him?
Take back control. Never stop gaming.
Welcome to the Blast Spring Final. Hell yeah. I'm ready. I'm excited. The stage is set. Who's going to win that trophy? Oh! What is that? It all comes down to the next 3 maps of Counter-Strike. All right. Okay. And he can't believe it. Oh, my God.
Are you tired of your boring old skins? Head to Trade It and trade them for exciting new ones within seconds. With 24/7 support, massive inventory, free giveaways, and low fees. Trade It is the highest rated trading platform in the market. What are you waiting for? Start trading today for a $5 bonus, only on Trade It.
They say I'm young, they say I'm dumb, but what they don't know, it's where I've been and who I am, all the ways I've grown. Blood and the sweat, tears and regret, made me hard as stone. On my own, on my take. See me on fire, see that I can't break. Knew I'd be great, knew I would rise through all of the pain. All of the lows are within now, keeper of all faith. Never changed. Put the work in, yeah, I earned it. It's my destiny. Yeah, I'm on top, can't be stopped. Shooting my shot, oh, oh, oh. Yeah, I'm the one, I'm a legend. Get what I want, oh, oh, oh. Yeah, I'm on top, can't be stopped. Shooting my shot, oh, oh, oh. Yeah, I'm the one, I'm a legend. Get what I want, oh, oh, oh. Put the work in, yeah, I earned it. It's my destiny. Yeah, I'm on top, can't be stopped. Shooting my shot, oh, oh, oh. Yeah, I'm the one, I'm a legend. Get what I want, oh, oh, oh. Yeah, I'm on top, can't be stopped. Shooting my shot, oh, oh, oh. Yeah, I'm the one, I'm a legend. Get what I want, oh, oh, oh. That love life, so nice. Luxury. Luxury. This is that love life, so nice. Luxury. Luxury. Walking with attitude, influence on magnitude. Yeah, we going up, 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 up. We a whole mood. Love to see a big win. Hop in the whip for a spin, spin. Headed for the top, yeah. Cute the violins. Glitter gold on a roll. Watch me shine, watch me glow. This is that love life, so nice. Luxury. Luxury. This is that love life, so nice. Luxury. Luxury. Coming in on the scene, looking so fresh, looking so clean. Everybody talk about a glow up, yeah. Cause they love to be seen. Baddest in the whole crew, so fly, so new. Get that bag, money green. Out with the crown, I'm that queen. Glitter gold on a roll. Watch me shine, watch me glow. This is that love life, so nice. Luxury. Luxury. This is that love life, so nice. Luxury. 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 This is that love life, so nice. So nice. Luxury. This is that love life, so nice. So nice. Luxury. So nice. So nice. Luxury.
I'm excited. The stage is set. Who's gonna lift that trophy? Oh! What is that? It all comes down to the next 3 maps of Counter-Strike. All right, okay, and he can't believe it. Oh my God.
Are you tired of your boring old skins? Head to Trade It and trade them for exciting new ones within seconds. With 24/7 support, massive inventory, free giveaways, and low fees. Trade It is the highest rated trading platform in the market. What are you waiting for? Start trading today for a $5 bonus, only on Trade It.
Hello and welcome back to the grand final of the EPIC41 with Intel Counter-Strike tournament, sponsored by TradeIt.gg. Now, K10 opened this one up with an absolute banger, stealing away the map pick of the neighbours of Inferno in quite a decisive fashion, Tim.
Yeah, I mean, considering that in the group stage, we've said this time and time again, 13-3, the neighbours took Inferno. And just now, we've just seen a 13-6, the other way around. K10, they clearly came into this one more prepared. They've adapted and improved their game plan. They anticipated this veto, I have no doubt. It's a little bit more of a blindingly obvious one that Inferno would be picked, a bit more of a safer pick for the neighbours, considering they lost in the upper bracket final to K10.
Yeah.
But now we're going on to Ancient. Ancient, which is a map which, in that upper bracket final, K10 smashed the neighbours on 13-3, most notably with Rest going 20-7 with 120 ADR, but only 75% cast. So for those who aren't aware, cast means kills, assists, survived, traded, and it's scored as a percentage. So it's the percent of rounds you got one of those. Meaning 25% of the rounds, Rest has no impact. 25% of the rounds, yet he still finished at the top of the scoreboard 20-7 with a 1.86 rating. That implies that that was a team victory. It wasn't just him doing a hard carry. Yes, he would have got plenty of multi-kills on the rounds he had impact, but it meant that not every single round. And with it being a 13-3, such a one-sided scoreline, that implies that the other teammates were stepping up winning the rounds, and it was the system that won. It was K10 playing good Counter-Strike, not necessarily an individual's singular performance.
Yeah, and I'd be interested to see as well how Slide does on this second map, because he was up there towards the top of the scoreboard alongside Rez, obviously slightly outshone in that game, but he was up there with a 1.67 rating and 99 at ADR, and he's just had an absolute screamer of a game on Inferno. He's been rock solid on that CT side, and as well, he hit some nasty shots with the Desert Eagle.
I want to bring us back to that narrative that we came into this grand final with the fact that it's Shine and 360 are the ones who have previous stage experience, especially specifically at an Epic LAN. And they're also players who have been touted as heavy hitters. 360 was perhaps one of the biggest names coming into this event. A lot of people picking him, but he's not had a great performance. And on Ancient in that game earlier, he went 8-10 with 0.81 rating. Both of those players struggling to find some impact, but it's their teammates doing the heavy lifting. But, as you mentioned, with that stage experience, coming onto Inferno just now, the map we just saw, 360 and Shine had plenty of impact, who are only just behind Sly at the top of the scoreboard.
I think it's time to kick things off here. K10 starting with a one-map advantage here, second map of the series. Because it's their map pick, though, it does mean the neighbours get pick of the sides, and they've chosen to go for the CT side in this particular matchup. Bit of Kevlar, bit of utility being distributed for both teams. Going to be setting their pistol rifles up here.
K10 looking towards going for a set play towards A. They do have a contingency with a lurk over towards B, but this A site is going to be vacant as the neighbours choosing to fight towards middle. Contact is made in towards the donut where Zai finds the first frag onto Adam 9-130. K10 maintaining this brawler mentality with three players pushing in towards CT, and they completely split the attention of these two players in towards CT, where Sly catches them off guard into the back with a beautiful lurk, finding two frags. And it's a 4 versus 2 advantage for K10 as the bomb gets planted on this A site.
Scramble rotation there from the neighbours. Smooya in cave, and there's going to be a long rotate for Bev, but traps have been laid by K10. He absolutely anticipates one of them. Swings by with the dual elite. Still a man advantage for K10. Make it 2 as Shine swings past. Takes down Smoothie with the P250. All on Bev in the 1 versus 3. Shine looking to confirm. Swings out and a headshot to the side of the head. Delivered. K10 survived the pistol with 3.
Again, good momentum. Good way to start it. They started with a pistol round on Inferno and they ended up closing that one, as mentioned, 13-6. They're looking good. Now, one thing to mention is during the break, we caught a couple of the Neighbours players in the toilet doing a team talk. Their team chemistry looked great in the toilet, and their team morale was certainly high. So hopefully they're not too down in the dumps here.
They seemed in good spirits.
Yeah, they're in good spirits, and hopefully they remain in good spirits as they are, again, 1 map down and now 1 round down. Going to be continuing on to the 2nd round of the map with just pistols.
Yeah.
Full eco, and it's a B stack where K10 again, they're avoiding the contact early rounds, going to this vacant A site.
A site, a really nice site to pick when you're against an eco, because you've got that long range advantage. You can use your rifle. Smooya does a lot of damage onto Rez through the smoke, but isn't able to stop the bomb plant. So Neighbours just looking to contain the extremities here and try and pick up a couple of exit frags. You can see they're poking and prodding just a little bit, but not willing to overcommit. Instead, just trying to take weapons away from K10. I mean, look, if they pick up a couple of these AKs, steal those away, there's going to be big assets on the CT side. Defensively, the AK, incredibly powerful.
It does look like Neighbours just going to fall back. They don't want to give the MAC-10 on 360 any extra funds, hopefully, for them, if K10 decide to go hunting. But they're not going to, because they know there's nothing worth taking away from the Neighbours. The Neighbours have literally nothing that they can use in the next round, except maybe this P250. That's the only difference maker. But it's, yeah, they're going to be buying regardless, coming into the first buy round of the map. We do still have a couple of compromises on the board.
There's a lot of compromise too.
We've got 2 MP9s and a FAMAS, but this affords them plenty of utility. Now, utility is important on Ancient. It's not quite the same as, say, Banana on Inferno, but on Ancient, if you don't have utility, it's so hard for the CTs to actually lock out mid-control. If you don't have it, the Ts can very easily take those fights on their terms. And you can see, look, all that utility dumped in towards the middle, the Molotovs, the smokes, but it doesn't matter. K10, again, completely avoiding this, looking to try and abuse this A site for a 3rd time in a row. 4 players now swinging out, Dobbo with that aforementioned MP9 struggling to land the shots, but a beautiful team flash from Extinct coming over the roofs sets up Dobbo, and he's stayed alive this entire time.
This is a really nice setup from the Neighbours. They're looking to swing in and confirm it here. A couple of frags do come through for K10, but it leaves Tree 61 versus 3. Molotov through the smoke, Adam in a great position to deny here, and there it is. The Neighbours pick up the first gun round.
Some fighting talk coming out from Adam there after winning that round. But I have to say, good praise to Dobbo there for staying alive that entire time with an MP9. He spotted the information of the players coming out towards A main, dropped the utility to delay them, stayed alive, pushing back in towards Donut, and it was a team flash that came on in.
Buys coming back through.
Yeah, we've got a technical pause there. The admin's just addressing the foul language that was displayed by some of the players.
There's a couple of compromises here for... Yeah, okay, no words. Right.
Yeah, this
bit of a pause.
this is a bit of a pause there.
Either way, K10 still in the lead by at least 1 round here.
Yeah, warning has been issued. Hopefully we get back into the game as soon as possible.
There it is, technical pause has gone, so I imagine we'll be resuming the action. Here we go. Freeze time expiring. We are going to be seeing things. It's another gun. Albeit, again, compromise is present.
Yeah,
this
on the T side, finally losing their first round. They do have full rifles, they do have a decent amount of utility, but they are lacking in some departments, missing a lot of their grenades. Shine going down to a deagle. The grenades are thrown out, and now they've got very little to work with, using that initial utility to try and maintain and gather map control, including this cave towards smoke. Rez has made a lot of ground here up towards the B lane. I need him to take the shelf, but Smoothie spots him out, lands a cheeky little headshot, digs him down, and that's the man advantage going the way of the Neighbours.
And K10 in no position to equalise that kill either. They're still sitting pretty statically at the moment. 360 is getting curious here. It's a dangerous position. See exactly if he managed to pull it off. He does. Walking just clean through the smoke onto Bev. And
completely untradeable frag too.
Yeah.
But he gets away with it, equalises the score into a 4 versus 4. And again, I said this on Inferno, I'll say it again, a 4 versus 4 favours the Ts. The CTs have less players to cover the same amount of ground.
Reaction coming in. Sly with a one-tap onto Extinct on the opposite end of the map. A lovely headshot coming out of Zai. Traded by Smooya, though, who's got position at the bottom of the rank here. Cautious play through the doors. Sly catches Dobbo, but isn't able to confirm the kill. We're into a 2-on-2. Dobbo winning a fight. Leaves Shine now in a 1 versus 2 situation. And it's been just a series of 1v1 fights that Neighbours have won out.
Yeah, I was going to say K10 looked really good with that once they got that 4 versus 4, maintaining, holding for that aggression. And they did come out on top initially, but as soon as the play started to whittle away, as soon as the trades came out into a 3-on-2, the K10 players were spread out. Isolated 1 versus 1 fights, and now the Neighbours take their second round. You can hear them screaming.
It's getting ready on the stage. They're getting energized. They're getting into the game. K10, after this couple of rounds lost, they are looking worse for wear in the economy, and we're all tied up. The Neighbours putting their foot down early on the CT side. They're going to be operating with a couple of SMGs, looking to farm some cash here.
Yeah, primed and ready to match the scoreline that they got last time they played on Ancient. The Neighbours getting that potential third round. HE is good to soften up a lot of these K10 players. They're not going to overcommit. Oh, in fact, Bev committing through the cave on the flank. Does go down to Sly's Glock, but Instinct's HE soft finished these softened up players.
Yeah. Molotov didn't get a Sly. Does do a bit of damage to Extinct, but they know where he is now. They close on him from absolutely all angles, and he's completely trapped in the corner. Still manages to finish off Extinct. It's a bit of damage, considering this was basically a full Glock round. That's 2 weapons taken out of the hands of the Neighbours here.
Yeah, that puts them up on that Magic 3. The number of rounds which they got last time. Finally, we have the buy round out. And again, one thing which is different compared to Inferno, the Neighbours crowd are being very, very loud. They're trying to be in their face, they're playing the psychological games. And we mentioned before how on the K10 side they have less stage experience. It's only, as far as we're aware, 360 and Shine who played on the stage before. And again, it's not that much extensive experience. And trying to get in their heads. Oh, getting aggressive openings from the Neighbours.
Yeah, Bev and Smooya combined with a frag each. Gives the Neighbours a 2-man advantage early on here, looking to stop K10 at the gates and not allow them to enact their game plan. Getting aggressive for these picks. Now K10 yet again in recovery mode, and the utility's not too great either. It's going to be really difficult for them to claw these frags back. It's going to come down to some nice shots.
Yeah, they are maintaining a buddy system, now grouping up all 3 players in towards the middle. Neighbours, again, with this 2-man advantage, they don't need to do anything. They can remain in these default setups, know that even if K10 trade out, they've got the advantage. It will fall in their favour. Extinct spots them out, plays safe. Again, doesn't want to give away an opening frag, doesn't want to give K10 an entry into this round to try and recover it, so just drops the smoke to turf and pushes them back, blocks that opportunity. They turn face towards walking towards cave, and Adam falls out of the cave as soon as K10 decide to walk on in.
Does pivot back around to get the information. Now he's spotted 2 of the players. It's a massive stack here towards the back lines here. The Neighbours looking to hold on to it.
They've decided to play retake again with that man advantage. Retake is a solid option, especially on Ancient, with how easy it is to retake this bomb site. Rez falls down to Adam, holding down towards long. It's up to Zai and Shine.
And they're being chipped down health-wise, slowly but surely. Shine trying to not overextend and pick some cheeky kills, but he can't do it. Smooya walks his way in through short, picks up a couple of frags. The Neighbours do 1 better than they did previously. They're up on 4.
And they're still screaming, they're still playing the psychological game. Trying to shut K10 down.
And the thing is as well, is that one of the key details that we highlighted in the pre-game, Rez, the in-game lead, he's currently yet to get a kill on the board. Now obviously it's early doors, we are only 6 rounds into the game, but not even getting 1.
And you can't make the argument of waiting to swap to the other side, because they would have started on the T side in that upper bracket final when they got that 13-3 in the first place.
Timeout being used by K10. It makes sense after the first couple string of rounds.
Recompose themselves at the very least, especially with the psychological warfare that we've seen going on the stage here.
Bit of singing going on as well. The neighbours in.
Again,
They're in a great mood.
Spirits.
Yeah. And it's super important, especially in a intense game like this as well. A bit of levity, just break up the intensity of the situation.
It is going to be a half buy for K10. Got a couple of Deagles. Make that 3 Deagles, a PT-50 and a Mac 10. So they're still going to be able to invest next round, but they've still got a decent amount of weaponry to utilise here.
Yeah, the benefit of being on that full loss bonus. K10 looking to test aggressively.
Beautiful. Mac 10, the wide swing, the movement speed. Capitalises it on perfectly.
Gets himself on the board. Dobbo, quick with a response frag onto Shine though. Rezzed in red room, cleared by Smooya as well. Good awareness. That means man advantage yet again is in the hands of the neighbours, and K10 not in a position to do anything about it.
Yeah, they get that opening with pace, but they slow down and spread out, and that gives the opportunity for the neighbours with these great weapons to just take those aim duels, which they will win all day, every day against those weaker weapons.
Bev picking up the kill onto the previous maps. High fragger Sly. So now it's operating with a 2-man advantage, and as well the weaponry massively in the hands of the neighbours. Not a lot of utility for K10 to use. It's another one of these situations where they're relying on a couple of cheeky 1 Deags. Try and pull this round off. Smooya in the red room. A lot of damage onto 360. Can't quite confirm the kill, but 360 is now alone. And Smooya getting aggressive. A bit of movement gives 360 a kill, but Adam is quick with the trade.
They absolutely erupt on the stage.
They're loving it, man. And look, I mean, why wouldn't you be? Look at the economy that they've managed to build up here. Smooya started this round on 12,000, absolutely brimming with cash.
But here, this is the difference maker. This is the round which K10 really need to dig deep. It's where they need to show themselves. They've got the buy round, they've got the weaponry, they've got the utility, they've got the AKs, and most importantly, they've got the AWP up on Shine. See if they can find some openings. Actually work some hits up against the neighbours, not get shut down at every single opportunity, which is how these last 5 rounds seem to have gone.
Yeah, there it is, an opening frag found by Sly. Dobbo eliminated. And a lot of utility's been used by the neighbours to try and solidify this map control, to try and hold on to middle. They haven't got a massive amount left.
Gone for a nade stack. It doesn't quite land the mark. Bev is tucked behind the cave entrance. I think that was to land on top of the shelf. But again, with this man advantage, they've slowed down.
Yeah, pumping the brakes, setting themselves up.
Yeah, waiting for the reaction from the neighbours. Currently, the neighbours leaning quite heavily towards that B site, neglecting towards A, identifying K10 playing much slower. Only just now do they start to work their way into the middle. I think Sing's been mollied off, and he's not good for one. Zai lands the headshot. That turns that 1-man to a 2-man advantage.
Yeah, this is much nicer from K10 as well. They're being methodical here. 50 seconds left on the clock. Bev looking to claw back a couple of kills. Zai swings in and falls victim to the AK Bev. No trade.
Yeah, exactly. But in this man advantage, the only way you lose is if you do not trade. The only way they can lose is if neighbours manage to pick them off one at a time, one by one. Zai falls first. Starts to make their way up on site. Some lovely utility. Catches off Adam. Bev pivoting around the pillar. Does isolate Shine, but eventually is traded with too many players to deal with. That leaves Smooya with this AWP. Could be looking to save this more expensive weapon.
Yeah, despite having that built-up economy, there's no reason to throw it away.
The economy is so fragile on that CT side. It doesn't take much for you to have to go back down to an eco. Vice versa on the K10 side, they don't have the funds built up either, so they want to maintain 3 players surviving so it maintains a profitable round. If they lose just one, it will be a costly round despite being a win.
Sly has secured an exit route already for K10. Very far ticked, and they can see that taking this AWP away.
360 having a go at fighting back in the psychological warfare on the stage, screaming at Smooya, telling him to save. A bit of a rivalry brewing between these 2 players. That does grant K10 their 3rd round. Reinvesting into this one.
And it is going to be a full buy for both teams yet again. See a couple of lovely entries coming out of Sly there. That shot on long, an absolute belter. Smooya currently top of the scoreboard, top of the server as well, 10 and 2, and he's still got the big green play.
Again, early utility tool to try and lock out this part of the map. K10 just going to be pushing up here, going for a set piece over towards this A site with all 5 players now creeping in. The neighbours, because they've decided to lean a bit more towards B, they haven't locked down that mid control, allowing them to gather information towards lane. So consequently, they won't have the information that it is simply not B. Dobbo won't be leading quite so heavily. Dobbo fully blinded the flashes. Fortunately, Extinct managed to finish off the frag and even doubles up. That makes it 2-for-1. Slight on the lurk, does find a frag of his own, taking out Donut. Adam falls, trying to make a hero play through that smoke. It's a man advantage to K10. Not only that, but they've also got Donut control. They can establish a post plant safely.
Smooya just biding his time here, waiting for Bev to walk in. Traded up frags. Shine taking down Bev, leaving Smooya 1 versus 2. He's going to drop a smoke.
He's going to try and go for a ninja. He's got a kit. The smoke is down and he has tapped that bomb.
He has, and
he's got a kit.
He's gone for it. He's sticking it. The spam doesn't land. The neighbours steal it away.
How's he gotten away with that? The HE comes in way too low, way too late. I'm not sure if K10 didn't hear the bomb start being defused or if they were a little bit doubtful, but it's like they assumed maybe it was a tap. I'm not sure.
And the thing is as well is that K10 have done a great job after losing those initial frags. That 2K from Extinct put them in a real tricky spot, especially with Dobbo in the back of the bomb site. The fact they claw back 3 frags, get that bomb down, and man advantage, and yet still Smooya in a 1 versus 2 just walks into the smoke and sticks it.
Yeah. You said it perfectly. They had the trades. They had the extremity control of the site. They had the bomb down. They had a post plant established. They had a man advantage.
That's that wild card play.
Yeah, but they couldn't deny the bomb plant.
And I think
bomb defuse, sorry.
Part of the perhaps reason why Smooya was able to get in there is because you saw a Molotov being dropped just behind the smoke in the elbow. Smooya had already beaten it.
Yeah.
So in the back of K10's heads, they're like, they can't be in the
it's
smoke.
the fact that there was that HE from Shine which actually finished off Smooya, took him down, but only after the bomb was defused. There wasn't even a spray attempt from Donut. I'm not 100% sure if they thought it was a fake on a player of Smooya trying to isolate a fight to whittle down the numbers. But with so many smokes down on the bomb, there's no way that's not... There's no realm of possibility where you have to, like, you can gamble that it's not a stick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Either way, the neighbours do get their 6th, and after a tactical timeout, despite winning scenario there, letting it settle into K10. Welcoming, resuming round number 10. Full buy on either side. Smooya with that AWP. He finished the last round with a 1 versus 2. He's going to open it up. The frag onto Rez. And it's just a dry peek from Rez. The IGL currently 1 and 8. We mentioned how he was farming on Ancient last time these two teams faced. Walking up that ramp, dry solo, no trade potential, no support, no utility. It's an opening frag. Easy as a like up against an AWP. And again, another frag. No trade potential. Sly just walking into that red room dry. There's no players there. There's no trading. There's no spacing. There's no support. It's another free frag for the neighbours.
K10 looking timid at the moment in the way they're playing. All of that assertion, all of that coordination that they had in the previous map seems to have evaporated. And again, it's going to be another 1v1 duel being taken here as Zai shoulder peeks in. He's going to use some utility instead. Block off the sight line for Extinct. Look to commit through it. Take a bit of space, but Extinct counters with the smoke of his own.
The lovely use of utility to maintain that control for the CT. Smooya falling off towards the A site from Donut. K10, all 3 players grouped up inside him. You can see neighbours, they're closing it in, closing the trap. Smooya and Extinct double up 1 each. Shine, hello, nice. Double frag. It would be a 1v5. Yeah, too many players to deal with. Extinct takes him down. That's going to be a 7th for the neighbours.
Looking way better on Ancient than they did previously in the tournament.
Now, I don't want to point all the blame onto Rest here, because that's simply not the case. But, as we mentioned, he was the highlight player last time they played Ancient. He's currently 1 and 8, but he's also the IGL. So if he is shutting down, if he is not having a good game, if he's not being vocal and being energetic, he's the one leading by example. The rest of the team are more than likely going to be following his influence. So if he is shutting down and being quiet, the rest of the team are too. Especially when you saw that play, he was the first one to walk up dry in a solo fight and lose a 1 versus 1, lose the opening.
Yeah, it's a massive issue when your in-game leader has an off game and isn't able to look past their own individual stats and focus on the rest of the team. And I mean, it could be what's happening for K10. It could not be.
Yeah, it might not necessarily be the case, but it is possible that it is. You know?
Extinct, getting aggressive here, swings out, isn't able to confirm a kill. Sly does slip away behind the wall, but Neighbours still looking to contest into A main here. Sly is going to back away with the help of a flash bang. K10. Again, struggling to find an opening. Slides down low on HP as well. Damage dealt.
utility has certainly been whittled away from the neighbours' belts here. That smoke being dropped over to Adam from Smooya, that's one of the 2 pieces of utility they have left. That and a flash. With 45 seconds on the clock, K10 have substantially more. If they go for a full site execute here, they'll be able to lock out neighbours and they won't have the utility to set themselves up for a retake. 360 finds the entry. In fact, he doubles up, takes down Smooya, who's caught off guard by the flash jumping, but Adam's still alive, hiding towards the smoke. They wrap round and a flurry of frags come through for the neighbours. It's down to a 2 versus 1 and just instinctly catches Zai jumping through the smoke, but the trade comes out for Shine. With 1 player surviving, K10 do get their 4th. Neighbours aren't going to be able to stretch up to an 8th just quite yet. But most importantly, that's broken the economy.
Yeah, it's much improved as well from K10 as well. You see this entry coming in here from 360. The fact that then he's got that flashbang to allow him to get that kill on Smooya on long. That's the kind of coordination we want to see rather than these dry fights.
And the round beforehand, which neighbours won, they survived with 3 players. The round before, which they won, they survived with none because that was Smooth's Ninja Defuse. The round before that, K10 won. So their economy hasn't been established. The final round of the half, it's pistols, it's a FAMAS, it's an MP9. K10 should be looking to try and take this to a 5th, mirroring the scoreline that we had over on Inferno.
That's an interesting setup out of the neighbours this round as well. They're trying to maximise the potential on one side of the map while the other side looking a little bit weak here. Sly looking to gather some information here. Shots exchanged.
He's pulled over quite a substantial rotation. It's a fair read from the neighbours, the K10, towards the start of this game. They were trying to use that A side, trying to capitalise on when it was empty. So they decided to gamble, an educated and informed gamble, over towards this site.
Look at this push though. Smooth's just gathered so much information, which means K10 need to start to accelerate, which is what they've done. Utility has been used on the B site. The game is up. Neighbours looking to position themselves for a retake. Shine in a big position to try and hold off.
But what they do have is this entire time they had that 4-man stack towards A. Bev was holding down his cave and he still has it under control. That means his teammates can walk in safely and soundly, knowing that there's no place in between him and take. But in the meantime, K10, they're post-planning in towards cave, but the split comes on in trade frags back and forth.
Rez with a couple of big kills. Shine comes in with a frag as well, leaving Smooya in a 1 versus 2 yet again. He can't pull it off this time. Rez, massive round from him, 3 kills. The majority of his frags in this half came in that 1 round. He's only up on 4. 3 of them just happened.
3/4 of his frags came from that round, and not a moment too late gets K10 their 5th. Only 2 rounds separate them. It's going to give him a little bit of energy, and if he is the, he is the IGL, and if he is being a little bit timid, if he's being a little bit quiet, which could be suggested by that performance from K10 in the 7 rounds that they did lose, it could give them that boost of energy that they need for their CT side to start being a bit more vocal, to kick their heads into gear and try and close out this series in 2. Again, this is their map pick.
Pistol round here. The neighbours looking for a bit of a brawl with their 5 sets of Kevlar, and Shine might get a bit more than he bargained for here. All 4 of the neighbours on his screen. Sly taking contact, and the neighbours again operating as a death ball, but Zai looking to claim some names of his own, gets 2 with the Julies, but again, response is swift from the neighbours, and K10 are in a man disadvantage.
Yeah, these USPs just tapping down body shots. You need the headshots to close it out. 360 also struggling to find the head. He does fall to Adam. It's just Rez in the 1 versus 3. We mentioned how this IGL needs to step up, and there's the first. Bev falls. He gets the second, but the spacing, the trading from the neighbours just a little bit too better.
Yeah, and the neighbours sticking as a pack, staying together, guaranteeing that they've got that trade potential, and that massive death ball there that you see on the screen. Shine completely overwhelmed, and then Sly and Zai doing their best in middle, but again, it's just strength in numbers from the neighbours here on Ancient.
Yeah. And it's an important pistol round because it does put K10 onto that eco. Again, there's no consolation on that CT side for losing. The Ts, if they get the bomb plant, they can still buy the next. CTs, they get nothing for losing the pistol round. So they're going to be on a full eco. Neighbours having a great opportunity here to stretch their lead.
Oh, Dobbo just spotted Sly pushing through A main, and now the jig is up. K10 operating a death ball of their own, but the weapons completely not in their favour, and only 1 frag found.
A double kill from Extinct and 1 from Smooya. Close that one out, but here's the buy round.
Well, we've got a bit of a tech pause here, just going to figure out exactly what that is and sort it out. The neighbours are in a really good position here. I mean, to be fair, Tim, we could be looking at both teams trading their map picks, and then we get onto that final
map of
decider.
Overpass.
Yeah.
Well, I mentioned it in the pre-game, I'll mention it again. it was likely to be a Mirage pick. I think the Neighbours would have expected a Mirage, considering K10 won that in double overtime last time they faced. But they swapped it. They said, look, a Mirage, we're going to take it towards overpass. So I'm not sure if the Neighbours would have expected an overpass. I think they would have expected Mirage, as I said before. So K10, I think they're going to have to drop on it if it goes to a third. That's if they can mentally reset from an Ancient loss. I say that Ancient's not over.
No, Ancient absolutely isn't. This scoreline isn't recoverable. The obvious issue being is that unless K10 start to stamp their foot down quickly, the scoreline could get away from them. The pistol round would have been absolutely massive for them. That would have led them to have that springboard to tie up the scoreline, potentially even go further. But instead, the scoreline starting to look a bit daunting.
It is, especially, like we mentioned, that psychological warfare that was going on towards the start of this series. You had the Neighbours screaming, shouting at the K10 players, who, again, there's this narrative of the K10 players being a little bit less, well, far less experienced on the stage than these players, but lacking that experience, that composure in general. Especially, and I'll bring it back to Rez as the RGL. I don't want to keep bagging on him. He was that player who had that massive game on Ancient. But we've... Doc's the player he's stepping into the shoes to fill as the IGL, has been constantly praised for being ice cold, for having no emotion. It doesn't matter what the situation. According to a lot of his teammates, the org owners who have owned, I say owned Docs, I mean who have worked with Docs, have always praised how cool, calm and collected he has been. Now this is something which Rez as a new IGL might not have built up. It's something which K10 might be missing.
We'll have to see here as the technical issue has been resolved. We're getting back into things. The Neighbours have an SMG out again on Bev. Fairly characteristic. He likes to opt for those on the lower buy rounds. K10 got the rifles out. Some utility is missing. That's thanks to the loss of the pistol round, then going for an eco. The loss bonus not built up. No economic groundwork for them to work with.
Yeah, just not enough grenades for K10 here. They're going to have to get aggressive. They want to make sure that every single grenade they throw has a purpose. They get as much out of this utility that they can.
Look how much space Bev's taken here, and he's continuing his push, but he's caught. He's alone. Exactly that. No trade. Rez gets a kill for free, and that's a man advantage for K10. Now, thankfully, that is only the SMG. They've still got the AKs to work with here, after taking a lot of damage just from some smoke spam. The bomb is planted. Slide. Pushed out of position.
It's a man advantage for K10. Most importantly, they have that extremity of the cave. This post plant is not strong for the Neighbours. You've got 3 players tucked in towards the ramp. That's only one position. K10 can slowly close in on towards this site, clear out the site itself, and then they can lock down Neighbours from this tiny little choke point that is the ramp. Smooya and Adam left, slowly being hunted down, now being smoked off too. And
oh, the knife's out!
The knife! The double kill to close it out, the rivalry brews, and 360, despite the trash talk, despite the psychological warfare, he's fighting back. He's trying to shut Smooya down.
Wait, they haven't defused it?
Oh!
They didn't defuse? That's a massive fumble.
That is beyond a fumble. You've got the... I want to rewatch this on the replay. So they have the retake. They have a 5 versus 2. There's time on the bomb. They've got no kit. There's no kit.
Knife comes in and...
Oh, we didn't quite see on the replay.
I just caught on the minimap. They were super...
They were so spread out hunting. Because they were adamant because they didn't see anyone on the site. Because there was barely anyone on the site and there was 3 players. They didn't expect that many players to all be tucked on the ramp. And this psychological warfare, I mentioned it. They tried to shut it down, get that knife kill. That would have been huge for K10's momentum, huge for their energy on the, as I mentioned, the psychological warfare that the Neighbours have been playing on them. But then they don't defuse the bomb.
And the thing is as well, is that was a massive break handed over to the Neighbours as well. That post plant, as we highlighted as the round was going on, the positioning was not good. And the fact that even when kills were coming in, they had 3 players stacked on the ramp. First kill comes in onto Dobbo, no attempt at a trade. Second kill comes in, no attempt at a trade. It leaves Smooya in the corner there, all alone. But K10 fumble it and don't defuse him.
Yeah, perhaps they were caught up a bit too much in the celebrations of getting a knife kill screaming. Again, that's another thing with a level of experience. It's these small mistakes when it comes into these high-pressure environments on LAN where you can get caught up, carried away in the trash talk. And Neighbours doing a similar strat as they tried to do at the end of Inferno, using their tactical timeouts, letting it sink into K10. Making sure that the majority of this game, K10 feel like they're at the back foot. They're the ones losing. They're the ones with a big lead to recover.
Yeah, and they can't move on past it yet because they've got to sit and stew in it for just a little bit longer. They need to mentally reset and just look forward to the next round.
In the fact that they are 5 rounds down.
And this is their map pick as well. Let's remember, these teams currently at least on course to trade map picks, unless K10 can resolve the issues quickly, because now double digits for the neighbours, double the amount of rounds that K10 have. Freeze time has expired. We're getting back into the action here. Smooya does have the big green out on his person.
Yeah, let's see if we can find an opening frag with that. Or K10 using what little utility they have to clear out mid-control, get as much information as they can on the map, and also using it to try and close in on toward the B lane, but it fails. 360 inside, can't quite land the shots. Adam and Dobbo are the ones to find the frags, and that's a 2-man advantage despite such low HP. Still a 2-man advantage for the neighbours.
Yeah, Rez trying to claw back at least one frag there. Can't quite finish the job, and absolutely there aren't grenades left for K10. It's going to be really difficult for them to hide onto the bomb sites here.
This is such a difficult situation because without grenades, without the numbers, and because neighbours are waiting, they can't really go aggressive. They can't really try and look. We'll try and go for those fights, to isolate those duels, to gather information, make informed decisions despite a disadvantage. They can't really do that without the utility. They can't do that with the heavy number disadvantage. So what they're kind of reduced to is perhaps to go for a gamble stack. But even if they go for a gamble stack, neighbours have that extra man advantage.
This is huge.
But hello.
Resident Shine.
That's the 2 low HP players falling. It comes down to a 2-on-2 as Smooya finds a headshot onto the IGL. There is this flank coming in late from Sly though. It's anticipated. Smooya's turned around to drop the smoke.
Sly going to go straight through it. Smooya lands a shot. That means Shine left to try and clutch this one out, and we'll turn it to a 2-on-2. Bit of a reset. The neighbours now with that absolute wealth of utility able to drop another smoke, bleed the clock further. No diffuse kit for Shine. So despite K10 bringing it close, ultimately the neighbours are going to creep ever closer to map point. It's going to be 11.
Yeah, it's 2 rounds away from taking and trading their opponent's map pick.
And it's daunting for K10 as well, because not only have you lost your own...
I don't think they would have expected it to go to overpass, despite... Well, in the veto obviously they expected it, but I don't think they expected it to get that far. I think they would have come into this expecting a 2-0, considering how prepared they were on Inferno. They looked like they'd made adaptations, and they looked really confident coming into that map. But we've swapped over, and getting off to a decent start after answering back from the pistol round, the neighbours have looked so dominant here.
Tactical time out from K10. They realise they're up against it here. I mentioned all at the start of this map that they do have that safety buffer of overpass, but they don't want to go there. Let's be honest. Yeah. They're going to want to clean this one out here on their map pick, but the weaponry that they've got to do it with, the utility it's not looking too great.
Yeah, this is a higgledy-piggledy buy. That's how I'd describe it. There are a couple compromises, but these weapons can also be X factors and used in the right way. You've got that MP9, that auto shotgun. They can absolutely shut down certain points in close range. You don't have that AWP, but you do have more utility than K10 have been working with for most of these rounds on this CT side.
Yeah, that is the one benefit, thanks to these compromises. They have been able to pull out that utility. Something that proved to be a factor as well in the last round. So we'll see what K10 can do with this here. It's going to be a heavier lead from K10 this round. Need to take a bit of map control early on.
This is a big gamble. They need to try and gather some information towards, well, the rest of the map, towards middle, where Sly is on his own with this MP9 to hold
neighbours
mid.
already searching.
Back, and yeah, they're already searching, setting themselves up for this B site hit, which is again vacant. Res the IGL for K10 playing retake, locked out behind this long smoke. He's going to buy time for his teammate to rotate in, and they can set up for a retake.
All
and
on the
neighbours
back
only
lines,
just
though.
now planting.
All on the back lines. K10 completely locked out this bomb set by the utility. The spam's good from
That's
Res.
a big spam because Bev was about to try and take cave control. He can now no longer has that, and neighbours are working without that post-ban position.
They've smoked it off. Dobbo a long way away. 360 coming in through the smoke. Adam trying to pivot round. Not good for it. A lot of kills being found by K10 here. 2 left. Dobbo lines up the spam, looking to try and prevent the defuse. Can't do it. Counter spam from Sly is good, and Extinct shy of the mark. Gives K10 a much needed 6th.
Chef's kiss of a retake there. Again, because because the neighbours, they didn't have that extremity. It's one thing I always say in post-plant, you have to find an extremity somewhere to defend that bomb from, which is also covered so that if the CTs take the site, you can still stop the defuse. Especially on Ancient, you have to take more than one because of how easy it is for the CTs to retake. You can't just rely on ramp, you have to have either cave or long. Neighbours did try to take it. Bev was about to walk in, but he falls. I think that is the difference maker. If Bev clears out cave, they can now set themselves into positions where they're not exposed to cave.
Tactical timeout from the neighbours. Their final tactical time out of this map. Economy's not looking too hot for them, so they've got a couple of options.
It's a prime opportunity for K10 to close this scoreline. They can make one mistake. That's the only mistake they can make on this map. They can only lose one round and still have a chance at taking Ancient.
Plenty of money in the bank thanks to that previous win as well. Diffuse kits on every single player. Hopefully we won't be seeing a repeat of that disastrous round a couple of rounds ago.
4-player surviving is very good for their economy, and like we mentioned, they've been struggling with the utility beforehand. Now they've got all the bells and whistles to set up for retakes and also to take map control of the opening stages in the first place.
Fast from the neighbours up onto the B site. Trades 1 for 1. Rez going down to Bev. That's an AK that can be picked up. K10 now, their goal is to contain and then retake. Smooth's in a nice position here, but he is checked by Sly and a missed shot. Another one. Sly with a screamer of a follow-up. Looking to do more damage, can't do it. Dobbo with a trade, but still, man advantage for K10 here. They are split up, and that is a bit of a problem because
they can't trade. They can no longer have the confidence to say, look, you go first, you blindly die, and I will trade you. They can't do that. They're all in 1v1 fights.
Contrast that to the way the neighbours are playing as well, is that they are set up for these trades. So K10 being cautious in the way they approach this. Bazai finds the gap, swings his way out. Dobbo lines up 2, but he can't confirm the spray. K10 steal it away. 7.
And I have to praise Sly yet again, the newest addition to this K10 roster. He hard-cleared Smooya, walking on towards those B doors, looking straight at it with his back completely exposed to the ramp. For all he knew, a player could have been tucked in that cubby, holding down the ramp, and could have taken him down before he'd even seen Smooya. But no, full confidence, back exposed, takes down Smooya, and it works beautifully, sets him up to pivot and get the double kill.
And that's somebody who's committed to full team play.
Yeah.
That's what you want to see out of a team
he did
like
have his teammate to trade behind him.
Exactly that. And they're going to continue to buy this round. This time, Shine has got the big green out. The neighbours going for a bit of a partial investment, but
it's a hero 8 Smooya. He is on the top of the scoreboard, 20 and 10. That's a 2 KD. He's had plenty of impact, especially technically getting a 1 versus 4 with that bomb not getting confused and also injuring in a 1 versus 2. But impact far beyond just the stats he already has. K10 have burnt so much of their utility though. They've got next to nothing left, and there we go, a smoke just emitted. One of them was dropped over, so they have 2 smokes, 1 Molotov, 3 flashes left. There's a minute 20. They can't use those smokes to block the entire time. They're going to have to get some information to make sure that they use their smokes effectively. They don't just waste them freely.
Just a static waiting game. Rez does get a bit of information onto Adam. Continuing to shoulder peek here, so he can play that information game and then fall back if he needs to. He goes to a more committed angle, and this could be disastrous, but he does get 2 before going down.
Nice transfer. Nice adjustment.
Now can allow 316 Sly to go for a swing, but a bit of an aggressive one. Smooya takes him down, and Sly left out to dry, luckily. Still snapping headshots, doing damage through the smoke as well. It's the second one from Sly. Adam in a 1 versus 3 situation. 40 seconds on the clock. Needs to isolate these 1v1s and not get traded. Bomb is on his back. Could cheat a rotation, but it'd have to be pretty loud. He's repositioning.
Yeah, 20 seconds. He's got
Kevlar.
a sprint here. Yeah, he's picked up the hero AK on low HP. A couple soft bullets will take it.
And speaking of bullets, he's quite low on those as well. Only 6 left in the magazine.
Either way, he's got the free sight, he's got the confidence, he's got the knife out. Gonna gamble, gonna get this bomb down.
I don't want to see K10 panic here. I want to see them group up and retake this as a core.
Trade potential.
They have a smoke, they have a flash.
Plus, he's got no armor. There you go. Nice swing. Zai lands the headshot. K10 gonna get that 8. Then I want to bring it back to Sly yet again. Beautiful double kill with those headshots. He's nice and crisp on that one. And also beforehand, Rez with the opening double kill. A nice little transfer with the M4A1S. Holds his own. And Rez is actually up to 14 and 14. We called him out earlier for being 1 and 8. He's certainly bringing it back up. Gaining some more confidence, gaining some more momentum. And again, as the IGL enters the new IGL for this team, his move will have a big influence on this team.
He's a CT side player, Tim. And speaking of CT side players as well, Sly, We saw it on Inferno. He was an absolute rock at the top of Banana, and the fact that he's now being a rock on this B site here on Ancient, it's a good sign for K10 as we move into the latter stages of this half. Now, the buy is back out for the Neighbors. 5 rifles. Good amount of utility for them. Heavy bit of utility has been used in middle by K10 to take this initial control, where Simply looking to join up with his teammates. Smoke's going to deny vision for Bev, locking him out of the B doors. Flash into middle, Sly completely caught. Dobbo with the opening frag, and there's no one there to trade as well. Sly's in such a committed, aggressive position with no support. But that's a frag handed over.
K10 is leading much more heavily over towards this A site, where Shine lies in wait with this orb. It works perfectly as the frag in towards middle. It sort of incentivizes Neighbors to sort of move towards that A site. It's much easier to access that one through the donut. It does equalize things into a 4-on-4. Neighbors slow down. They let the round breathe. They let Dobbo in this forward position listen out for the rotations, but K10 are going to be happy to split up 2-on-2, play retake towards B, on towards those extremities, hunker down towards donut with a forward position towards A main.
Very slow from the Neighbors, creeping their way in.
There's a bit of util thrown over towards that B site in the hopes of baiting out rotation, and it's worked. They've heard the steps moving from Shine into the donut, but they don't expect Zai to be pushed up so close towards the boost. And the flash is perfect. He's doubled up. That's huge. Massive round from Zai. And Shine, a lovely flick. He's hitting some lovely shots here. We mentioned it. He's got that stage experience. He's won an Epic Land before, and he's showcasing that he can do it again here. Shine, some lovely flicks there on the AWP, up to 15 and 9.
Both of those shots that he's hit are some incredibly difficult. I mean, first of all, this crack angle reaction, almost instant, and then that second one, a nice elevated flick, but also this hold from Zai, absolutely monumental. Gets the first frag, falls back, stays alive.
I want to bring it back to that strat. That was a nice idea. Throwing that smoke to pull a rotation, it worked. They heard the noise on Shine, but they just didn't anticipate Zai.
Yeah, it's going to be a really fast execution from the Neighbors again. Going for this B hit, the smokes descend onto the bomb site. Spam from Rez, this time doesn't find any kills, and the Neighbors are looking to get aggressive into the back lines, and it's working. 2 frags found. Rez only good for 1, and a deep smoke makes things really difficult for K10 now, because they're locked so far back, especially with Tree 60 going down. The Neighbors might be stealing their way around here on what was a half buy.
Yeah, K10 are going to be looking to save here. They don't want to go for this 2 versus 4, especially because, again, we mentioned it before, it's about those extremities on those bomb sites when it comes to retakes, when it comes to post plants. And Neighbors have them all. They have deep CT, they have long, short, they have cave control, and obviously they came from the slope. So K10 without any of those, the retake is just simply not viable, especially with the 2-man disadvantage.
We said it during K10's timeout earlier. They have one mistake. That's it. They've made it now. The Neighbors are on map point.
And that was with pistols. That wasn't a full buy. That was a fast, aggressive play, maximising trade potential, fully committing towards that short position.
The Neighbors going to be aware of that now as well, that these fast plays do make these bomb sites vulnerable. It's been the slower rounds that K10 have been able to work their way in and steal these rounds away. So, something put in the back of Adam's mind. The potential future calls either way. Guns are back out. The Neighbors opting again for 5 rifles, picking up plenty of weapons from the floor in the previous round. K10 have the AWP out on Shine yet again.
Again, they're burning lots of utility to try and take control early here, try and deny the control from the Neighbors. The issue is Neighbors can just wait out this utility. The Molotovs fade towards the slope, and only just now can K10 start to move their way in. A smoke towards the B doors does help block the Neighbors players out of any map control. And yet K10 are burning so much utility just to double down and say, look, we do not want you guys taking this map control. Now, the way this can work for them is that once this utility fades, once the smokes fade, they decide to fall all the way back. Neighbors might be incentivized to use a lot of utility to take that map control, which would give that information up to K10.
And the Neighbors are opting to play as a death ball here, but again,
yeah, they've given up this map control. They're playing it from a little bit more of a passive setup. Utility comes in, but side turns, anti-flash and falls. Fortunately, Sly is in place. He does land a couple things, but he doesn't actually finish any of the frag. The rotation is coming in quick for K10, and they can get themselves into some prime positions here to try and find frags. But, Rez falls. Lovely shot from Smooth.
Extinct with another frag as well, and that's 2 versus 5 for K10. This is looking dire. The AWP working its way in. Needs to try and find some picks. Allow Tree 60 to work his way in, but again, he's far removed, and with a player operating deep in enemy territory. Could make things difficult. 360 finds the first, but now the neighbors know exactly where he is. Utility, the spam, everything raining on in. Bullets gone. 360 is scrambling to try and pick this one up. A dink with USP, but it's not enough. Extinct makes it 13-9, and the neighbors, we're trading map picks.
Yeah, they're taking us to a third, and that's going to be overpass. And again, they came out here swinging. We mentioned that they didn't seem phased in the break as we... And yeah, they came out swinging. They played that mental warfare. They were loud, and K10 was shut down. They seemed to struggle. Resist was a lot more quiet on that map there than we expected, especially from the IGL.
Yeah, and when you have a slow start such as that, yes, he had a bit of a resurgence in the second. He started to come back online, but it was too far gone at that point, and then losing that round against a half buy with a B rush, all of a sudden it sends the whole thing into a free fall.
But Harry, I'm excited for overpass. Hopefully that's going to be a much more close game with both sides not having played that. It's going to be blind information, hidden information game, and it should be exciting.
Yeah, thank you very much for joining us here on the EPIC41 stream, and we're not done yet. We've got one more map to come, so get a drink, come back, and we will see you after the break for the Counter-Strike tournament sponsored by Trade It. See you in a bit.
Overclockers, welcome. Oh, screw this. Where's EPIC when you need him?
never stop gaming.
Welcome to the Blast Spring Final. Hell yeah. I'm ready. I'm excited. The stage is set. Who's going to lift that trophy? Oh! What is that? It all comes down to the next 3 maps of Counter-Strike. All right. Okay. And he can't believe it. Oh, my God.
Are you tired of your boring old skins? Head to Trade It and trade them for exciting new ones within seconds. With 24/7 support, massive inventory, free giveaways, and low fees. Trade It is the highest rated trading platform in the market. What are you waiting for? Start trading today for a $5 bonus, only on Trade It.
Yeah, we going up, we a whole mood. Love to see a big win. Hop in the whip for a spin. Headed for the top, yeah. Cute the violins. Glitter gold on a roll. Watch me shine, watch me glow. This is the love life, so nice. Luxury. This is the love life, so nice. Luxury. Coming in on the scene, looking so fresh, looking so clean. Everybody talk about a glow up, yeah. Cause they love to be seen. Baddest in the whole crew, so fly, so new. Get that bag, money green. Out with the crown, I'm that queen. Glitter gold on a roll. Watch me shine, watch me glow. This is the love life, so nice. Luxury. This is the love life, so nice. Luxury. 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 This is the love life, so nice. So nice. Luxury. This is the love life, so nice. So nice. Luxury. So nice. So nice. Luxury.
Hello and welcome back to EPIC41 with Intel. It's the grand finals. It's map 3 and it's going to be a belter, Tim. We've got Overpass coming up and it's going to be a bit of untrodden ground, at least in terms of direct matchups between these two teams.
Yeah, as mentioned, these two teams have faced twice before this tournament, but Overpass was not one of the maps out of the 3 they've already played that has been played. So hidden information, neither team are going to be very experienced on that, at least head-to-head. And K10, they've not played this map at all this tournament. We know that Neighbours have, and Neighbours historically have looked pretty decent on it. And like I mentioned before, I'm a big fan of the way they play 5-man CS on it. They tend to group up a lot. 4-1 is probably the most amount they split up. Normally it is that 5-man, constant 5-man pressure towards A, just creeping as one cohesive unit, taking map control towards A. Now on the other side of things, K10, before when they had Docks, Overpass was a really popular map for them. Docks loved Overpass. If I remember rightly on HLTV, in the last 3 months, one of the 2 only Overpass games that K10 have, Docks got a 1.3 rating, but he's not here. His systems will still exist, but it's rezzed IGLing. The one thing they do still have is Shine on that AWP. We spoke to Byfield earlier in the break, and he was talking about how he modelled a lot of his Overpass game off of Shine, who is notoriously also very good on that CT side of Overpass. Now to mention, obviously, we've got Smooya here. We've got a major quarter-finalist, and he's very well-versed on Overpass, especially as an AWPer. So I think this map is going to be a Shine versus Smooya showdown. Yeah,
absolutely. And Overpass is a map where these AWPs can really shine. Quite literally. Yeah, quite literally. Yeah, plenty of options for them. You've got mid, you've got long, you've got plenty of peaks you can take over towards B as well, and connector. There's lots you can keep moving, keep being dynamic and being a real thorn in the side of your opponent, especially on that CT side.
Especially with so many long-range ankles towards A, there's so many positions for you to set up, take a pick, deny aggression, find one, fall back to another angle, keep doing it over and over and again, getting a pick each time you do so. It makes it so hard for the Ts, and that's one of the reasons why I praise the 5-man counter-strike that the Neighbours tend to play on Overpass, because it maximises that trade potential. They can use their utility, because their utility is much more sort of resourced into one cohesive unit, to push back an AWPer, to trade an AWPer, to try and counter Shine. But again, like I mentioned, it's about this AWPer battle. So these CT pistol rounds are going to be really, really vital, because if you win that CT pistol, you can establish yourself with a strong economy, you can get those AWPs out early, and you can have that difference maker, and the opposing team has to completely change their game plan and adapt to the fact that there's an AWPer in play.
Yeah, both teams stealing away their opponent's map picks as well. If you're just joining us, you can see the maps on the bottom of your screen there. Inferno, the Neighbours pick, was a dominant affair from K10, 13-6, but then immediately traded, which means the Neighbours are going to be feeling good after stealing away the ancient map pick, especially with some of the fumbles that we saw from K10 as well. There was a round where they won a round with a knife kill at the end, but there was nobody around to defuse the bomb. So it was a ninja defuse. So
it's a lot of the psychological warfare too. We mentioned it, how on Inferno both teams were relatively quiet. There's a fair amount of screaming from K10 and cheering when they would win rounds. But then during the break, the mood wasn't really affected in the Neighbours camp. We move on to Ancient, and they start screaming loud, and not just loud, but aggressively, trying to play that psychological warfare on towards K10. It kept them quiet, and it did work. And there was a lot of fumbles, as you mentioned. Smooth got a 1 versus 2 ninja defuse. He also got a 1 versus 4 where the bomb didn't get defused after he got knifed. Those fumbles, you can't be making those on a stage such as this. And it can be disastrous, and K10 need to step up here on Overpass.
Yeah, now we have got a knife round. Of course, this being the 3rd map. Got a knife to decide which team starting on which side.
Yeah, the knife is important. As we mentioned, like we said, it's about this AWPer duel. Now, the AWPer duel is most important on the CT side. It's probably one of the more CT-sided maps we have, so this knife round is going to be super important. The winner gets to start in that CT. They get to have that opportunity to start on the more advantageous side majority of this game. K10 are farming.
K10 have absolutely owned that knife round. Yeah, they're going to be able to pick CT side should they want it, which I imagine they probably will.
This is good, because I feel like if Neighbours got a good start on that CT side, they would have walked away with this game having that momentum and that psychological advantage from winning that 2nd map, currently running on that high.
The thing is, though,
gives K10 that opportunity to fight back and establish their own game.
Yeah, the thing is, though, that before we get to the AWP battle that we highlighted, we've got to get through the pistol round first, and it's going to be big for K10. If they win it, then they can start to build the economy towards pulling out the big green earlier on.
It's so difficult on that CT side if you lose the pistol, because you lose that conversion, you're going to have to eco, and if you go for a 3rd round bar, you don't have the money to get an AWP out. Either way, picking off this pistol, and it does look like K10 setting up in a relatively default setup. Neighbours, again, we've seen this quite often from them, playing a much more slower game, passive, waiting, allowing your opponents to make the mistakes.
Yeah, an upgraded pistol on Smooya as well. We saw that if we cast our minds all the way back to Inferno. He did massive work in the pistol round with that $300 pistol. It's nice and accurate, something the T-side can use. It's fairly cheap. It doesn't impact on your utility too much. It gives you a massive advantage when you're taking long-range duels. And there it is, ringing out, and it's the AWPer on the AWPer. Shine taken down, a single headshot from Smooya to kick off the round. And the Neighbours are going to accelerate off the back of this, accelerating up Banana onto that A bomb site.
That's four
players.
The one player in the form of Bev, who was holding towards that extremity of B, is going to come on late and hopefully cut off those rotations. Dobbo, looking to clear out long, does fight towards 360, who's now being split on from 2 different angles. He's got to try and isolate this duel, but Dobbo takes it. Got sunglasses off, got his normal spectacles back on, and he is going to land some lovely shots. The retake does it in shoot through towards the CT stairs, where Rez and Sly starts to push on through. Smoke down onto towards the bomb. There is no kit. Rez has found a frag, but now it's just sliding. He's going to get overwhelmed. Neighbours going to take that pistol round. We mentioned it. The CTs need that economy to be established, but they're not going to get the opportunity just yet.
No, they certainly aren't. The Neighbours immediately investing into a couple of submachine guns there, looking to farm some cash, because again, they want to get that AWP out on Smooya. Less important necessarily on the T side. You can operate with 5 rifles, be a bit more dynamic, but it's something that they'll probably be looking to get out, whereas K10, they're going for an eco. They're wanting to build up that back.
Yeah, should get that AWP out as soon as possible. It's going to be a full 5-man stack towards long here. All 5 players on the Neighbours side of things, they're spread out in a very passive default there with that Mac 10 scouting towards B. Some utility to give him some support, mollying off barrels, a flash to clear that close corner. He's prodding. Currently he's not found any contact, so Neighbours are going to say, look, if they're not playing close towards the monster, the chances are if they are stacked, we can go throw a full execute. This site should be ours freely. K10 identified that after hearing all that utility being thrown, so they start to shift, go towards a flank, see if they can find some exit frags.
This is an open bomb site for them. To be able to get that bomb planted. K10 not wanting to hand away any SMG kill rewards. They're instead opting to just stick together here, which I really like.
Yeah, you don't want your opponent to establish a good economy, because as the CT, like we mentioned, you've got to build your own economy. The easiest way to build economy is getting multiple rounds in a row and multiple easy rounds in a row. And the best way to do that, or rather the easiest way for that to happen, is if your opponent's eco after you beat them. And they're only going to eco after you beat them if you've whittled away their economy or not allowed it to be built up. So they're not going to allow those Mac 10s to farm some cash. They're just going to sit and wait and play in this setup, meaning even if Neighbours do hunt, they do have strong setups to overwhelm them. They have the numbers rather than being split up, rather than being the ones taking the initiative to push in to potential hunting players.
And also it means that these SMGs are still going to be out in the next round, which is where the first gun round is going to commence. And K10 are going to be investing in their rifles here. They don't have enough to pull out the AWP, exactly that. So it's going to be a set of 5 rifles. And in fact, they're not even going to be able to pull that one out. 360's dropped down to an MP9 in order to afford the utility. Eyes on a FAMAS.
Yeah, they do have those grenades, which as mentioned, you do need. It's such a large map here that there's plenty of opportunities for you to block the choke points off from T's. This MP9 for 360 looking to get quite aggressive. Being flashed in, it's just Dobbo on his own. The flash doesn't blind him. 360 wants the information, but he doesn't commit to the fight. He does start to fall off. In the meantime, though, the Neighbours have taken deep connector control. It's just a molly, which is going to stop them from pushing up. They could catch 360 falling back, but they decide not to, and K10 fall back unscathed despite a heavy investment of utility to try and find that opening frag.
Discipline from 360. Now there is a boost in play here over towards B. Smooya looking to try and find an early opening. Bev making a lot of noise towards Monster to try and distract. Smooya not being handed anything. The benefit is for the Neighbours though, they've got plenty of time on the clock. They can afford to keep this up for a little bit longer here. Okay, a bit of noise made, they drop off.
That's information. K10 though, because they made so much presence early on towards A, they can fall all the way back. And the Neighbours, if they want to recover this ground, chances are they either have to risk going contact or go loud. Dobbo is risking going contact, and that doesn't mean he's cleared a lot of room here. The benefit, again, as I mentioned, of being passive, is that also they have a quick rotation towards this B bomb site over towards A.
Zai holding here as a monster. 35 seconds on the clock. The Neighbours will be looking for their final play here, and a lovely shot from Extinct. Counter utility is being deployed, but Bev, he's ahead of it. Running in with that Mach 10, he's using sheer aggression, and the Neighbours go 1 for 1, which means 360 and Shine remain here. K10 locked out of the B site, and they're going to be forced to save.
Yeah, nice coordinated effort there from Neighbours again. Dobbo cleared out a lot of map control there, which got that information that K10 were likely playing passive. And if they're playing passive, they're likely going to be also blind, meaning even if they have a quick rotation towards the site, they're not going to be anticipating it quite so soon. So if Neighbours went for that pop, which they did, they didn't telegraph their play, they didn't allow that quick rotation to come in, they took the fights beforehand, closed down onto the site, swiftly get their third round. And as we mentioned, it's all about the economy, trying to get that AWP up. K10, due to losing this buy round, their economy is broken, they're back down to pistols. It's going to be even longer until we see Shine and AWP.
We highlighted in the pre-game that could be one of the deciding factors of this matchup. The fact that we're going to be potentially getting all the way to round 5 and beyond without Shine pulling that gun out. It's going to be a massive impact on their ability to defend these bomb sites, and it's going to be huge for the Neighbours to be able to establish a formidable T-side lead.
Yeah. But they do have these saved weapons, we should hopefully see them set up for success, most namely the M4 on Shine. They have invested a decent amount in terms of these upgraded pistols, still will enough to buy next round. Most importantly as well though, Shine's got extra cash so to buy that all next round. Neighbours picking up the pace a little bit here in terms of taking connector control. There's 1 minute 35 on the clock and they already have the bomber connected. It's such a pivotal part of the map because it allows quite literally the T's to pivot between A and B to have quicker rotations rather than having to go all the way through T spawn. Not only that, they also have short in control.
A little bit of a boost on long. Shine picks up a kill onto Dobbo, and K10 immediately readjust here, falling back, not allowing themselves to be traded by the Neighbours who are so far away. Sly, though, looking to take some map control solo, hands the kill immediately back to Adam. So we're into a 4-on-4. Flashbang for 360 to gather a little bit of information here. Bev on top of it, lands a headshot, now gives Neighbours a man advantage, slowly bleeding out K10.
Yeah, that's the difficulty with going for that aggressive play for Sly. By falling, K10, because of the information he had, pushing, were gambling that A side. They were then blind and they decide they have to react. But Neighbours know this. They've been playing so slow this entire series. They love to play this style of sitting, waiting for the CTs to rotate. And as I mentioned, Sly falling causes a K10 rotation, causes a bit of panic.
And it's the fact that towards the start of the round, in order to get the opening, K10 were playing together, they were playing coordinated, they went for that boost, tradability there, whereas then all of these kills that have followed have all been 1v1 fights, lots of shouting coming out of the Neighbours camp. Adam cleans things up, that's a 3k for him. And K10 yet to put a round on.
Yet to get around on the board. But this is the opportunity. Round number 5, it's the rebuy. They can now contest, they have full utility, they have 4 rifles, and that AWP, we keep hammering it home. This AWP is the X factor for K10. Overpass, a map which is so good for AWPers, and Shine, a player who loves to play on Overpass. It's a perfect blend, the perfect recipe for success, but only if they get the ability to enact it. And Neighbours, they're completely avoiding this AWP. They're going faster to the site where the riflers lie in wait, and it's a triple entry. This AWP not even come into play this round.
No, Rez in the back lines, able to get one, but pivoting caught between 2 players, and Shine locked out with the AWP, and it's a perfect call out of the Neighbours.
Yeah,
we know that this is the first gun round, that K10 are going to be able to get that AWP out. So they say, fine, get the AWP out, but we're going to throw a fast push into the B site, we're going to throw utility over, we're going to close the distance, we're going to get up in your face, and Shine absolutely should be saving.
It's going to peek into this angle where Adam's lying away. You can see the barrel as well. Adam definitely should have the anticipation here. There we go, he takes him down.
And that's unnecessary, the AWP's now gone.
I guess Shine maybe wanted to try and get some momentum, get at least a couple AWP frags on the board so he can feel comfortable with that sniper rifle here on Overpass. But again, a brilliant call coming out from the Neighbours. They completely anticipate this AWP being purchased, and they say, look, like you said, you've got this AWP. We don't care, we're going to go towards B, there's no AWP there.
And that's the benefit of having players with the experience that the Neighbours have. I mean, Adam, for example,
he's 9-0 right
he's
now.
9-0, yeah, an absolute Overpass merchant.
Yeah, we called how Docs, the previous IGL for K10, loves Overpass, and no doubt K10 is still going to be using that Doc system that he's implemented. But Adam, he's a player himself who loves Overpass and has a long history of excelling on this map. proactive push towards the short, but completely untraded. Slide does not check the corner. Adam finds 2, puts himself up to 11 frags. 2-man advantage for the neighbours. Bev, they're just reacting. They're just collapsing on towards this site. Falls, K10, Shine. Just USP, nothing much really to be said about that round.
Flawless round, and Adam, still yet to die. And Zai is still yet to frag as well on the K10 side. It's been 6 rounds now. They're just calling their first tactical timeout. Well needed that they can pull out the AWP yet again. The loss bonus is built up. They had enough in the bank to invest into it, but they still haven't put a round down, and Neighbours completely thwarted the AWP in the next round. They need to make sure that doesn't happen, that they can guarantee Shine some action.
Most importantly, we're 6 rounds in, and look at the frags for K10. 360, 0. Zai, 0. Shine, the AWPer, 1. Sly, also 1. Rez, who's the IGL, he's got 3. But there's barely any. If you look at the neighbours side, 3 players have only died once. Adam's not died at all.
Yeah.
This is all these rounds have been dominant, meaning that K10 have got 0 energy. They've got no momentum behind this game whatsoever at all. 6 rounds in.
They've also got no evidence for anything that they've been doing working. They've not even had a round where it's like, okay, there were a couple of mistakes, but it's going to be another fast one. The neighbours again looking to thwart the AWP. This time it's there on the B side, getting in the action though. Zai's on the board, but a couple of frags coming out for the neighbours. Even trades, 2 for 2. Smooya's in, eliminates Shine, which leaves Rest and 360 to try and clutch this one out. Molotov towards short, but it's traded, so Rest himself is blocked out, and now 360 caught on the flank again. Yet to frag. Rest 1 versus 3. Bomb is going to be planted. Bev swinging in, gets a headshot. Neighbours make it 7.
And K10 made that adjustment. They had another buy round. They managed to get that AWP out on Shine. They had the utility and said, look, you avoided the AWP last time. We're going to try and put him onto that B site, anticipating another fast B play. And they read it right. They even had the utility to shut down a monster hit, but the neighbours, they were just too good at trading. Their flashes were too strong at blinding these opponents. Consequently, the site does fall. K10 again struggling to find any grip, any footing here on Overpass, which again, bear in mind, they had the opportunity to play Mirage, a map which they won last time in the upper bracket final in double overtime. Instead, they said, no, we won't go Mirage, we're going to come in with an Overpass pick, at least for the 3rd.
Neighbours again going for this assertive B-sided map control.
Yeah, 1-2-2, making sure they control that pivotal central part of the map connector and be short, giving them the ability to rotate. Shine finally getting involved in the action, catches Dobbo, the A-lurk, off guard, picks up a rifle. 360 holding a nice little off actually towards the connector, but doesn't quite land the headshot, and Smooya finishes him off, equalising the player count 4 on 4.
Again, 360, a key part of K10 is completely missing at the moment. He's 0 and 6. The neighbours have been putting him down every opportunity they can get. K10 looking to try and hold on to this one with 4 players against the neighbours, 4 as well. There's a good amount of utility left on the neighbours, so they can go for an execution. The same can't be said for K10. They're just holding angles. Smooya walks in, lands a headshot, and now 2 players have been spotted, but Sly is going to pick up the trade at the very least. Doubles up, tries to extend the spray, can't do it. Bev with a counter spam does put him down.
Did he expect assist? Or Rez, should I say, hiding on towards the site. They tapped the bomb. It's a complete fake. Oh my goodness, they tapped it in the smoke, and has managed to escape unnoticed. They're still going to be expecting the bomb to be tucked in towards the site. Okay, they hear the steps, they hear the rotations coming up towards connector. Shine is going to anticipate this and try and get up towards that A site beforehand.
20 seconds on the clock, scrambling from Shine. I believe it might have been heard by Adam. They're being cautious. Adam's got a deep hold as well, so the bomb is going to be able to go down uncontested. Bev now drops away to a post-plant position. The one saving grace for K10 is that currently at the moment these 2 players are separated, but it may not matter. Adam picks himself up another frag, his 12th of the game so far, which leaves Rez, the in-game leader, 1 versus 2. Bomb already almost halfway ticked, and he doesn't have a defuse kit, Tim.
Yeah, does have armor, but again, both these players playing so far back, playing together, even if Rez pushes to try and find an opening and whittle it down towards the they're ready to trade. Adam running to the site looking for information, does confirm Rez's location, but no time, tick down on bomb, and Rez actually going to try and escape towards long, but Bev lying in wait. That's going to be in 8th in the row for the neighbours. K10 still yet to answer. Bear in mind though, that was pistols, that wasn't a full buy, that wasn't the investment to come out, and they managed to whittle it down to 1 versus 1. Maybe a couple signs of life.
Potentially, but the best possible half that K10 can now get out of this is 8-4. The T side leading on an 8-4 as well.
Yeah.
Going into that T side, then Smooth can start to get into the action on the AWP, which in fact he's going to start on the T side right here in round 9. They're making a little bit of presence towards the B side. This is the adaptation from the neighbours. Now they're changing it up, going towards A instead, which is where Shine lies in wait with his AWP.
But the head-to-head duel, we mentioned it, Smooya with the AWP, butts heads with Shine, and he comes out on top. Again, Shine not being granted the opportunity to get this AWP involved on Overpass, and we mentioned it before in the pre-game. The AWP is so powerful, it's so useful on that CT side. It's just simply not coming into an effect. Neighbours already with a one-man advantage, 1 minute 20 in the clock, plenty of time to play with here. Again, it's this 5-man counter-strike. They are split up a relatively decent amount, and 360 finally gets on the board, isolating Extinct, who is separated from the rest of his teammates.
K10 do have play here on long, but Smooth anticipates it. Sly hits the deck. That's another man advantage for the neighbours. 3 left for K10 here, looking to try to solidify a bit of defence here. Flashbang allows Zai to gather some information.
Again, this is textbook neighbours on Overpass. When they do this AD pull, they just slowly creep on. It will always be A. They hardly ever rotate because they don't have that or position to fall back into. It comes in towards long, Zai in a defensive position, but Dobbo solid on the trades. 2 headshots, it's just 360. He's down 1 frag this round, he'll have to get a triple to close it. But takes it down to a 1 versus 1 against him and Bev.
Yeah, the health is a problem though. Bev, full HP, lands a headshot onto 360, keeping it clean for the neighbours. 9 rounds.
Not a single round for K10. The neighbours still playing psychological games, screaming at the K10 players.
Yeah, they're getting ready, they're getting involved.
This is dire. It's going to be so hard for K10 to come back into this one. Their mental is going to be down. They've not had any opportunity to get into this game whatsoever, especially Shine, who, as we keep mentioning, was, or is, should be that X Factor, should be the difference maker. Rez, another solo play in short. Yes, there's some support in terms of utility, but there's no trade potential behind it, and these players are now just falling down by the wayside as neighbours look primed and ready to get themselves up into double digits. They're currently just 4 rounds away from taking this trophy.
Yeah, this looks desperate from K10. Nice headshot from Shine. Spots the second player, swings out, but that's 2 spamming at his feet, and his teammate is eliminated. HE grenade falls a little bit shy, but he shouldn't be long for this, especially with Smooya just heading to get that bomb planted. Flashbang as well. Neighbours being diligent.
It's so diligent, it's so thorough. It shows the level of counter-strike that these players have second nature. Even if they are being sloppy, even if they aren't taking this, well, I don't want to say taking it seriously, but even if they aren't putting their all into it, it's second nature. Even if they are, like, being this careless, these protocols are ingrained in these players to have these sort of flash plays, to have the team, they have the trade potential.
Another tactical timeout from K10. They have got another one banked, but the neighbours are 3 rounds away from taking this grand final, and
yeah,
currently the final map is flawless. Look at the scoreboard, it's absolutely dire for K10 here. AWP is back out on Shine, and there are M4s, plenty of utility about. Smooya on the other side of the server with his AWP. It's looking rough, Tim.
It is looking rough, but this is another opportunity for K10. They've got the AWP out, they've got the rifles out yet again. The last buy round, they did manage to get it down to a 1 versus 1, even though it did still look dire the whole way through. See if they can change things up. Stack names themselves, go for 1, just creeping slowly, packing towards this fountain, maximizing trade potential. Grouped up so they don't have to flash one another in, so they can do this all silently too, meaning K10 are going to be blind to this. In fact, they're going to be completely blind because the only A-site player is towards long, and they've crept all the way in towards short. And again, it's completely silent.
Bev has been spotted, but the issue being, look how close the neighbours are on the A site. Dobbo has been caught in the flames, but even still, Sly falls. 4 on 4, 360. They know where he is, he sticks ready for it. Does still get taken down. A HE grenade sailing in, might just about takes out Dobbo, but it's after the bomb's planted, so the neighbours look to establish a post plan.
This is the best round K10 have had so far. It's a 4 versus 2. The bomb has gone down. Smooth's able to isolate Shine, and again, there's no trade potential behind that push from Shine.
And
Which pulls it to a 1 advantage, and Bev is flanking 360. He does shoot him in the back, and he does fall. It's now equalised into a 2-on-2. There's no play.
There isn't. Zai does take down Smooya. Bev, all he has to do,
he picks up Kit's full
to deny this plan. Kit has been picked up, but Bev taps him away, sprays down the second. The neighbours keep it flawless. That was a 2 versus 4, Tim.
A 2 versus 4 and a 1 versus 2 as well from Bev. K10, again, they're struggling. They've rested on their laurels in that 4 versus 2. One of the things we've seen them be praised for, I was sat with the TLI guys behind watching the K10 in one game. One thing they praised them was their retakes look amazing, specifically on A-Site and Nubis. But here they're struggling. This is more than just the level of Counter-Strike that they can play. This is more about the pressure that they're feeling on the stage. They're shutting down right now. The highest fragging play on the server is 360, who's on 5 frags.
Yeah.
Everyone else is on 4 for K10.
It's looking dire. Fights towards connector. Double swing attempted. There's a third from Adam. Sly puts 1 on the board, but this is looking shambolic from K10. Sly's doubled up, taking down Bev on Monster. It's now just a 1-man advantage for the neighbours, and they are spread.
Yeah, there's a possibility, but I think they've isolated or identified the current setup for K10. As you can see, Extinct pushing deep in towards CT spawn, but Smooth's the one with the bomb, and he's slowly creeping on towards this B site with Sly lies in wait, but he's not towards Monster whatsoever.
I'm not sure about that position from Sly at all. Completely exposed to Monster, and Smooth capitalises.
It could have fallen apart from the set that neighbours had there. All 3 players separated, Smooth with the bomb, but yeah, Sly just loses that 1-on-1 duel. It's unfortunate. Neighbours primed and ready to have a clean 12-0 half here.
Almost certainly at this point. 360 is going to have to go for this, but he's so far away. Almost half the bomb timer already completely gone. He doesn't have a defuse kit on his person. And then neighbours are set up for a Smooth extended spray. Does fall.
But it's his location known, 360 on such low HP. There's no time on the bomb, no kit in play, and he does fall. It's going to be clean 12-0 T side. K10, not the opportunity to establish an economy, let alone a round.
I mean,
this is dire.
I mean, it's more than dire. It's absolutely shambolic. The fact is, you've got 12 rounds in a row. Just take it to overtime.
Yeah, you can't make a single mistake.
You're going to need to get to 16 in order to win this one out.
Let's remind everyone, Inferno, the first map, K10 took that. They upset that. They took their opponent's map pick, and neighbours primed them ready to do a reverse sweep.
Pistol round.
K10 won in the upper bracket final. They came in from the upper bracket. Neighbours have fought through the lower bracket.
K10 going for a nice and grouped up pistol round here, as are the neighbours, going for a bit of a stack. And they're gathering information as well, slowly and carefully. Bev operating with these dualies, a double dualie purchase for the neighbours. K10 continuing to go slowly here. There's so much on the line for them at the moment. Smoke and a flash can be used, and look at the information that Smoothie is gathering as well. The neighbours slowly sussing out exactly what K10 are up to in this round. Rotations starting to come in as the utility rains on a bomb site. Dobbo dinked. Gonna set a flashbang up for his teammate here. Adam hiding in the corner. Shine does pick up the opening. Adam has to confirm a few kills, but actually we've got a few on the board for K10 here. Smoothie and Bev left to clutch this one out. It's another 2 versus 4. It's again Smoothie and Bev. Let's see what they can do. This time with pistols. Smoothie picks up the first onto Rez. Bev just trying to take all the attention away. Does finally get taken down. Smoothie 3 kills to find. No defuse kit in play. It's going to have to be a quick one, but he doesn't want to give his location away just yet. Headshot onto Zai. Working his way up through the toilet. Again, just looking to find these fights. K10 are on the board.
We're not going to see a 13-0. And I'm glad. I'm honestly glad we've not got a 13-0. That would have been a heartbreaking way to close out not just this event, but the grand final for K10.
But Tim, look at the absolutely monumental mountain that K10 have ahead of them to try and just to take us to overtime.
Yeah.
It's got to be They've got to match Neighbours' flawless T side with a flawless T side of their own.
And the firepower on the Neighbours lineup, every single one of those players can single-handedly win a round. And most importantly, they're actually stacking this B bomb side.
Okay.
Anticipated this. And
Bev with the Zeus.
Bev, oh, he misses the Zeus. I wanted to see a zap there. Instead, it's Rez with that Mac 10, farming some cash and 360 with a double of his own. K10 gaining a bit of momentum there. That's a clean round, and it's most importantly their IGL with the 3 frags to open it.
Rebuy does come in. We've got a bit of a quick technical pause here. Hopefully we can get that one sorted, but the Neighbours are on the buy this round. Now, because they lost that pistol round, it does mean with the eco in the previous that they're not going to be able to bring out that AWP. We mentioned in the pre-game that was going to be one of the most important factors. Yeah, the AWP duel.
Shine.
And let's be honest, in the first half, it was all Smooya. Shine struggling to get any impact. Neighbours calling perfectly around that AWP element, going for those hits fast onto the B bomb site and taking the AWP out of equation, taking the range advantage away.
Yeah. Again, it's just one round. That's all that the Neighbours need. It's in their grasp.
Yeah, we can't start to...
They're but an atom away from that trophy right now.
There hasn't been a single CT win so far.
Yeah.
Taser has been dropped across to 360.
Yeah, that's one of the things I do like about this new Zeus update. The fact that it is rechargeable is that obviously it's dropped to the floor, meaning even after used, once you kill someone with it who's got a Zeus, you can pick it up and use it yourself.
Yeah. And you can even go for 2 kills in 1 round if you're feeling particularly fruity. It's difficult.
I've yet to see that.
Yeah, I've yet to see it in a competitive setting.
That could be the case.
It could be because the Neighbours
yeah, they've got
such a big lead.
They've got 10 rounds to play to try and get us the double Zeus skill.
Yeah, they could start to have a little bit of fun. But you don't want to let it slip away as well.
Yeah,
I mean, I imagine they'll want to get that big check and get out of here. So they'll be looking to close out as soon as possible. The utility's a little bit limited for them as well. Technical pause has been resolved. Going to be heading into what could very well be the final round of this game unless K10 can start to mount the comeback of a lifetime.
Lower round set up for K10, 2-2-1. Again, similar to how the Neighbours were playing, making sure they prioritise that connector control so they have that rotation possibility. The Neighbours on the other side of things, they're playing a 1-4, being heavily towards that B site, trying to lock that down. Interestingly, again, K10 a little bit more spread out than the Neighbours were on their T side. The Neighbours tried to prioritise that 4-man lean, especially over towards A. But here they're relying on their individuals, but consequently that allows Smooya, who's the solo A holder, to isolate a 1 versus 1. There's only 1 player on A, and he gets a frag completely untraded.
Yeah, falls back, drops smoke as well, keeping K10 at bay, and it gives him room to manoeuvre around it as well. Flashbang straight through it, and it's anticipated by Smooya. Kill found, searching for that AK. Smoke, can't quite find it. Zai going for some spam, but it's now 2-man advantage for the Neighbours as well. And again, it's fairly static from K10. They're looking to group up and try and work their way onto a bomb site. Nice nade from Zai. Blows open the smoke, but it has the added benefit of taking Smooya down. Now only a 1-man advantage for the Neighbours. Shine working his way up.
Yeah, they're still being patient. They're grouping. They're trying to make sure they can at least trade out. It's a 3 versus 2 on this A site, so trading out
Crossfire.
Still possible, but yeah, there's a crossfire established. Adam has cleared long control. He now holds that lovely angle, but the entries from K10 are perfect. They're sublime. Shadow spotted from Adam. He falls res, holding Dobbo's swing from the truck. It worked perfectly. Now it's a 3 versus 2 as the bomb gets planted. These 2 Neighbours players are isolated from this situation. Should be looking to save again because they have not established an economy. You mentioned it, the CT side economy is so fragile, especially on overpass.
Yeah, they're going to be going for that save, especially with an M4 in play as well.
An M4 could be huge. That could be round winning. I would not be surprised in the slightest if K10 ended up losing the next round if the Neighbours set up this M4 correctly. Get it up onto a boost. There's plenty of places to boost on overpass. Everyone knows this. It's almost infamous for the amount of boosts that have gone on this map that are available. Get it onto a boost, find an opening frag, then retake that map control and pick up that rifle. You can put that extra rifle onto one of your teammates who would otherwise be on a pistol. Then you can push forward from there, snowball the round.
We've got an AWP out on Shine here. It's going to be a bit of a partial investment coming in from the Neighbours.
And again, he wasn't able to flex that up on that CT side. He had very little opportunity to even fire shots off with that weapon. see if he can try and use that on the T side. Again, it's much harder to use on the T side. We talk about the impact of the open overpass primarily on that CT side. K10 going for another default round, a little bit slower, trying to identify the weaponry they're working against on the neighbors side.
Smoke burnt out in connector. K10 playing it cautiously here. They've managed to work a bit of map control in this time, though, because of the heavy stack that the neighbors were putting on connector. It's left other areas of the A site vulnerable, but it's an immediate reaction. Working their way up long, and there it is. Slide trying to take some space. Solo swings, absolutely no potential of a trade, and because of that reposition, Smoothie picks up the kill on one of those M4s.
We always talk about trading. We always talk about it's the most important thing in Counter-Strike, especially with a man advantage, but even more so against pistols, because if you go down for free, go down untraded, the player who killed you can pick up that rifle and trade it and swap it over, drop it over to a teammate. You can see the neighbors. Yes, they only have 2 rifles now, but that one on long is certainly recoverable.
It's another 2-man disadvantage for K10. We've seen them claw it back before, but this time, different area of the map.
I told you, I wouldn't be surprised if this is how K10 lose it. Against a saved M4, 2 saved M4s, finding and isolating those frags. Now start to creep over towards this B side, but it's a passive hold, and that buys time for the rotation to come in. 360 does find one, but look at the health of these players. He's quickly traded through here with a double kill. Now down to 360 in a 1 versus 3. He's going to have to get a 1 versus 4 clutch to close it out. That's not going to be the case. Neighbors, they're going to take overpass 13-3. They're going to reverse sweep this series, and they are your EPIC41 champions. And that's going to be Adam9130 winning 3 Epic lands in a row.
Yeah, I mean, it was great stuff from the neighbours, considering the way this fashion in which this series started as well. Dropping that first map, their own map pick, showed the mental fortitude to come back, take their opponent's map pick, and then in the final, I mean, it looked like K10's mental was absolutely gone. They didn't have anything really to show for themselves here on overpass, and the neighbours have swept it, and they are, as you said, the champions here at EPIC41 with Intel. Counter-Strike tournament sponsored by Tradeit.gg. Now, I think we are going to be getting ready to throw things over to Reap, Steve and Affinity, handing it back over to the stage. What's up, guys?
Oh, the mic's up now. Looks like we're not ready to throw over just quite yet. We'll hopefully get that one sorted out with production.
Yeah, no,
but yeah, I think a big part of this is K10. They're a relatively young team. These players aren't so experienced at the higher level. Obviously, we've got Rez, who's new to this IGLing position. And this is a big learning experience for them. Obviously, the neighbors have plenty of experience as a team together. Well, not as a team together, but individually at the highest level. So that experience clearly prevailed here. And yeah, I think we are ready to send it over now. So, Affinity, Reap, Steve, take it away.
Hello, guys. Thank you very much for that one. Well done for the pair of you for a great commentary. It was nice watching it backstage.
Thank you very much.
Both enjoyed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow, that was explosive.
It was.
That's
a very good word for it, actually, yeah. That's awesome.
Hope everyone enjoyed watching, obviously, from the big screen.
It's been an incredible event as well. Just massive shout out first of all to the casters who are putting in an absolute shift this weekend.
Yes, indeed.
There's only been about 4 of them, and they've been rotating on and off as well. And it's awesome to see you guys back. Of course, EPIC39, we last saw you, and
we're at EPIC40.
I do believe actually we saw a similar result outcome when you were last cast. Maybe it's you guys. Maybe it's you.
Maybe.
It's just the duo. That's what it is.
They can pay us later. Give us a contribution to the prize pool.
So, well, there's one last thing for us to do. So we get this up and running. Gents, neighbours are your Intel EPIC41 champions. So someone want to come over and grab this? Any one of you. Adam, come on, Adam, mate. There you go.
Now, I think there's a couple more people we need to thank before we head off. I think there's a couple more people we need to thank before we head off, of course. So first of all, the wonderful production crew, the wonderful League Ops, everyone who has put in the incredible work to make this event happen this weekend. There's so many amazing people. There's not enough time to shout any percentage of them out that would do enough justice to what they have been doing.
But you can watch the credits at the end at least anyway.
Oh, absolutely. We've got credits,
that's in
lists everybody. They've all been absolutely incredible. And of course, our wonderful sponsors.
Yes,
because this has been EPIC41 with Intel. Coming back once again to support us. Incredible. Of course, we've got Overclockers UK back, our wonderful Jacob going to be leaving us to join them as
I
well.
cannot wait to punish him when he comes back.
Oh, yeah,
in
no, he's
July.
going to be on this stage and he's going to be
100%.
tortured.
Constantly. Vino's going to not know what hit him. He's not going to be doing anything for July and October. It's just going to be Jacob constantly. We've also got, of course, our other sponsors, Draytech.
They did indeed. The networking for us as well. They got the incredible graph. I don't know if you've been watching the graph over the week as well.
I have been watching the graph. I've been walking past, keeping an eye on it as it's going
Nice
up and
look,
down.
isn't it? It's nice. It's really cool information. I remember the net graph they released at the end of last event as well, which was absolutely awesome.
Got that to look forward to as well.
It is indeed. Of course, Asus Republica Gamers joining us for this event as well.
Indeed.
They've been incredible, hiding the little rubber ducks around. Their swag bags have been awesome as well. So it's been amazing to have them on board with us as well.
Indeed.
And Big Purple.
Big Purple,
Big
yes,
Purple,
indeed.
wonderful
Big Purple with the big
screen behind us as well. This has been so cool. I've loved
Honestly, it's
working with this. Like for the
it's
board
so
game
good.
section and stuff, being able to see what people were doing with the board game pieces.
It's
because
also
quite
nice
small.
not to be like trying to avoid TVs as you walk around.
Yeah, it is because usually like navigating around the front is a nightmare. as crew.
And Trade It.
Trade It, of course, incredible. They've been doing a lot of work. As you saw, Kenny SRPK came over to visit us here in Kettering off the back of Trade It as well. So that's amazing. Of course, Blast Premier Spring Finals in London later this year. Tickets still available, and I'm going to be going to that. I'm not sure about you. I'm going for the
if
whole
I get
weekend.
time off work, at the minute, it's not looking good. But
Not
I'm
looking
gonna
hopeful.
beg,
I'll be there.
borrow, and steal.
I'll cheer for both of us.
Thank you, I
And then, of
appreciate
course, the game blast that we've been doing as well
Yes,
for
hit all the
special
goals.
effects. We hit all of our donation milestones, which means we raised over £2,000, I do believe.
Exactly. Otherwise, though, thank you very much for joining us for the weekend. Hope everyone's enjoyed, and we'll be back in July upstairs.
42,
a little bit smaller, but very much looking forward to it nonetheless.
Thank you and good night.